fucking, I was gonna ask you questions and see how you all the other shit and see how you were doing and talk about some other games and whatnot. And then I just said, you know what? We'll do it live. I'll hit the button. We'll do it live.
Screw it. We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. How you been, buddy? How's your weekend?
Been all right. It's been pretty good. No, not too bad. As the microwave decides to go off at this point in time. Fantastic timing on everything. But anyway, not doing bad. Just woke up, so I'm a little sluggish, but yeah, doing pretty good.
All right, cool, man. How's work been this week? Okay, everybody, everything good? You know,
Everything's back.
This week in warehousing, I guess, would be this portion of the show.
Everything's been, getting back to normal. Thank God. Jesus.
Yeah, right.
Had to deal with a couple lingering after effects of our snow day, but other than that, everything's like say getting right back to normal.
Yeah, you say snow day with quote unquote.
Yeah, pretty much.
But that's good. So I mean, we got a ton of stuff to talk about, buddy. I mean, we might as well. We just might as well get right into it, right?
We do actually have at least a little bit to talk about, which
at least 2 hours of content to talk about. Solidly, right?
Oh yeah.
So do you want to take the TWAB this week, or do you want me to?
I can take the TWAB.
All right.
I can easily take this TWAB.
Oh, this is definitely not a leave it.
I know, right?
This is definitely take it, right?
I know, right? I mean, this TWAB was actually, as people are saying, this is probably one of the best pieces of communication Bungie's really ever given us.
Oh yeah, without question, I agree.
Let's see. So yeah, this week at Bungie, blah blah blah. New Monarchy won the faction rallies. Blah blah blah. Iron Banner,
baby.
All right. Iron Banner's coming up. Coming up Tuesday. Will be lasting till next Tuesday, once reset rolls around. The game type is control. It appears there are going to be 3 new weapons in the Iron Banner engrams, if I remember reading this properly. A new hand cannon, which I believe that's a primary, and maybe a slower rate of fire hand cannon. Scout rifle, which is a vice type scout rifle, so that's energy and very, very fast, and a precision shotgun.
So a slug.
Yes, slug shotgun.
Yeah.
Also available are apparently going to be Sparrow, Ghost, and Emblem. Yeah, Emblem. Yeah. Forgot what those were called for a second. And there's also going to be an Iron Banner ship that is not pictured in the TWAB that you will need to discover to see how it looks.
Do you have a guess on what it would look like?
I really don't. Maybe. If they're going with historic, maybe kind of like a St. 14's Gray Pigeon.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Like during the faction rally, I got the New Monarchy ship, and I mean it's pretty. Got the New Monarchy lion on it, so I feel like a Lannister, but I'm not. But yeah, that's what I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be that weird eagle-like body type.
Yeah.
The Falcon Zord, if you will.
Yeah. Let's see, and also Lord Saladin will be directly selling weapons, and from the thumbnail, looks like these directly sold weapons are the brand new weapons being introduced in this Iron Banner. So you can get all 3 of these new weapons. I mean, you can turn in engrams to see how your luck goes, or you can save up a set of tokens and just buy all 3 of these weapons.
You don't think that they're going to be like tied to?
You know what? I
opens?
just thought about that, but they're not saying that very particularly. So, but chances are that's probably how it's going to be.
Yeah.
Now that I say that out loud, but still, if you haven't, if you working your way up to the probable requirement to open or to buy these weapons. If you haven't gotten them out of engrams, you will be able to purchase them. So yeah, there we go. And they also give us a look on the new ornaments and how they look, which I definitely love that hunter helmet. Oh my god.
Have you taken a peek at them in game?
Yeah. Well, yeah, the hunter helmet I definitely have, and it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it.
I was like, oh man, I might have to run. I mean, they unlock throughout the entire. I'm assuming if I unlock them on my Titan, it's gonna be like with the faction rally how I unlocked it with my warlock and my hunter.
I mean, yeah.
This is just an assumption, and as we all know, the assumption is the mother of all mess ups.
Yeah. So I mean that, and it really depends on if they tie. I don't see why they wouldn't, but it would really depend on, for some reason, it would be the first time if they separated the classes from each, shared armor set.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see why it wouldn't. Like, you work on one and you get progress on them all. I don't see why it wouldn't work that way still. But I can understand if it didn't also, considering Siren Banner. And there's only one set of armor, per. There's only that one shared piece of armor. So I don't know. It'll go weird, and we'll find out Tuesday how that works. For certain. So yeah, there will be no limits to how many engrams you can acquire or how many tokens you can earn. Get as much playtime as you can during the week. It will always move you a little closer to opening another engram, earning an ornament, or purchasing a gear from Salad and Go Nuts. All right, and that's Iron Banner Season 2.
Now, do you think they brought the new weapons because of the, I don't want to say outcry, but I do want to say outcry from the faction rally?
No. I think this was their plan. I just think this is their plan, and they're communicating it better now.
Okay.
Because they said their original plan was to not feature new weapons in this faction rally. So, I would have to say that this is probably them. This was probably like part of the plan. Mm-hmm. That's if I had to take my guess, but yeah.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on that weapon.
That weapon?
The Loquitur, the winning weapon.
I did buy it. I did hop in. I did log into Destiny definitely long enough to buy it and give it a shot. In principle, like perk wise, I think I prefer the high impact reserves over outlaw on the halfdan.
Yeah, I'm about to say, meaning compared to the halfdan.
Yeah. Otherwise, I could be crazy, and it could just be like something in my head, but I think it's just barely like more controllable than a halfdan, and I mean just barely, like a little bit.
No, I can get behind. I mean, I love the halfdan, so
yeah.
Oh, 100%. It's close.
Yeah. It's almost identical to halfdan, but like I said, I feel I get a little more intentional headshots with the Loquitur. Mm-hmm. I feel, but I screwed around with it for a while. I did my flashpoint on my Titan after I picked it up, so I screwed around with it for a while. I didn't realize at first I was actually running. For the first like 30 or so minutes, I wasn't realizing I was running double autos. Because I had just picked up the Loquitur and then just went straight to the flashpoint, which right now I can't even remember where it was.
Titan.
But
on Titan.
yes, there we go. But and then at one point in time I was getting low on ammo on the Loquitur, and I finally switched weapons, and I realized it was the other new Monarchy auto.
Oh,
I was like, oh,
the energy.
Yeah, the Suros one, yeah. Which is like it's definitely within like my top 3. 600 RPMs. Mm-hmm. That one, but yeah. So yeah, I realized I was a Titan running around with double autos and actually not wearing the Actium War rig because it wasn't intentional. But with those 2 autos, it might become a plan for me in PvE. But yeah, if you can't get a halfdan, this is definitely a way to get something like a halfdan. Like I said, it's almost identical, but there's just just some things that seems are different. But like I said, that could all be mental.
No, I agree with you. It does feel different.
Um, so yeah, New Monarchy won the faction rallies. Locator is for sale. Goodbye, goodbye. Um, and then we have some word, because as we remember, the first step of, I guess, the State of D2 roadmap is coming up, also the 30th, and Bungie is not shy about information on this upcoming thing.
No, they are not.
So, first up to talk about is the Masterwork armor pieces that will start dropping after patch on Tuesday. Let's see. They finally give us, and they give us, this is one of the first times that Bungie has ever given us, like, direct numbers attached to a thing that they were doing. But they're finally giving us these specifics, and each piece of Masterwork armor is going to grant you 3% damage reduction while using a super, and stacks in the end to a 15% damage reduction with the full set. So they actually gave us like hard numbers on this damage reduction. And let me tell you what, 15% at the top end, that's no super small amount.
No,
that's going to be noticeable.
Yeah, that's going to be definite. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna know when someone has a Masterwork armor set on.
Yes,
even
for sure.
I'm guessing even like one or two pieces stacked.
Yeah, you'll probably start feeling. But yeah, at 15%, you're gonna start feeling it. And yes, they are finally confirming Masterwork armor can be reworked to a different stat package, i.e., and they even have a beautiful GIF representing this: heavy, light, or restorative. So, yeah, you can literally turn your armor into whatever the crap you want. There is a caveat to that, in the fact that apparently late in development they found a bug attached to this, and don't rework your armor too fast. Apparently it won't go. Like if you rework your armor and try to do it like immediately after again, apparently it won't do it. So
okay.
Yeah. So there is a caveat to that. So re-roll your armor slowly. But
and from what I read, the rework only costs 1 shard and 10 legendary shards. 1 core, I should say. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And 1 leg shard.
Yeah, reworking, I guess, since there's I don't know, but yeah. For some reason, they only went with, well, I guess since there's more armor pieces, they went with a cheaper reroll.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is, I believe, the same amount to Masterwork an armor piece, like initially. 10 cores. Or no, is that 10 cores? No, 5 cores. Huh. So yeah, that is actually cheaper all around. Or at least this image is showing 5. I can't see where the freaking numbers are, because I know they mentioned it because I remember reading it. But anyway, but yeah, it is only 1 core to reroll, which is very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Masterwork armor, so that's going to be very, very cool. Like your armor is going to start, basically being a little more style centric. You can be, if you actually have a look that you like mixed armor pieces, you can start masterworking that, and then you can start getting the exact stat packages you want out of that armor, which is going to be a very nice. I definitely plan on, I think first and foremost, masterworking my Vanguard set on my Hunter and turning that into restorative.
Oh yeah.
Like probably. But next thing they want to talk about, and holy crap, is this like a miniature wall of text? The raid reward renewal is going to be in the works with the 30th. Holy crap. Yeah, with the upcoming January patch, we're making a number of changes to the way raid rewards work. And the list are as follows. One thing is going to be raid armor, now with raid perks. Raid armor will drop with perks that function on the Leviathan. These appear on mods that are selectable on both new drops and existing raid armor pieces you may already have in your inventory. Additionally, these mods are reusable. These mods are reusable. So if you swap to another one, it will always, it's kind of like ornaments. If you swap to another mod, that mod is actually still going to be in the list to select. So you can always go back to that raid perk setup for your raid armor. And you can swap back to it for one Callus token at any point in time. And the default, and these default raid perks are going to be legendary status. So if you're at max light, then raid armor is going to drop at max light. Like if you're at 330, it will drop at 335.
That is incredible. And from what I've seen, I did see the picture, and they look like they're more general as opposed to...
Yeah, for sure. They definitely wanted to go with something that will just help you in encounters in general without being a specific... I guess this goes back to them designing like very small mini raids instead of like trying to bring out full raids. So that way they can have these armor sets work wherever you want in the Leviathan subsection of raids. So yeah, it is something. A couple of examples they give is recharge your grenade when you activate your super, or deal 20% extra damage after getting a melee kill, which 20% is a huge number for extra damage. Holy crap. And here's one in the thumbnail for the Hunter Cloak, Emperor's Blaze. While on Leviathan, your solar abilities deal 25% more damage.
Yes.
Jesus.
Oh, are you saying if you're a Celestial Nighthawk using Hunter, or a Hammer Titan using the Galley Hammers?
Yeah, I know, right? It's like you're wrecking everything. Sweet Christ. I mean, Nighthawk was already like a good... a pretty decent strategy against dogs. Get this cloak and it's like, Jesus, that's going to be ridiculous. And then the DPS against, or at least initial burst DPS against Callus himself. It's like, Christ. And also they're reintroducing double drops. So when running the Prestige, if you have not run normal mode, you're getting both sets of drops while running Prestige, kind of like how the old hard modes used to work.
I like that.
Yeah. It's a good idea, yeah. And it's really a nice little thing to bring back. Because again, like Bungie said, if you're actually clearing the Prestige mode, they don't want to force you to go back and do normal just for an extra set of loot or whatever. So yeah, you'll be getting all your drops, which I think they... Oh, yeah, of course they introduced it. No. They've done that from the beginning, I believe. Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking for a second. All right. And raid encounters will always drop a raid piece. They say they didn't want players to have that dead encounter feeling anymore, where they had already received all the rewards for the encounter and were just waiting on a later encounter. Or even worse, the disappointed feeling when no one in your raid group gets something, which could happen under rare circumstances in the old system. Rare circumstances? Okay.
So yeah, happened yesterday.
I know, right?
Little preview.
Yeah. Mr. Let's practice for the raid layer and like leave people out. Fine.
Hey man, I was on. Goku was on. I didn't
I
see
was
anybody.
on.
I didn't.
Could have messaged me,
I didn't see you.
douchebag. No, no,
I
no.
apologize, good sir.
Chances are I was taking a nap anyway.
Yeah, because you were at main menu. You've been at main menu and Paladin for the past fucking 36 minutes, for like the past 36 hours there.
Touche. But uh, so yeah, so they're also not tying gear to an encounter. They're opening that loophole, except for one exception, which is definitely something that they will get to. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, and encounters will have a chance to drop an exotic. They're not talking about an engram to take back to Rahul. They're talking about an actual physical exotic drop with armor and weapons weighted equally, um, and will be restricted to things that your current class can equip. So, just in case it is armor, it's going to drop armor for your currently used subclass. Or, yeah, class. Yeah. The raid vendor will sell a rotating selection of raid gear, which we covered before. And then there's the new item, which is going to be the thing that is encounter specific, is the exotic raid ghost contender's shell. Well, they say they didn't want to gain the same level of notoriety as with Nano Phoenix. They do say it's going to be, I mean, it's going to be a haul, apparently. Because apparently they wanted to add some, what they call bad luck protection to avoid that problem. But they do mention, like, you'll get it, eventually, even if it takes several weeks. But you will get it. And then they go into the perks. The contender shell comes with some brand new perks that we're hoping helps reward players that keep clearing the raid even after they've gotten their ghost. Both active only on the Leviathan and its lair, they aim to make Leviathan encounter rewards stay awesome. First, Seeker of Brilliance enables the chance for encounters to drop bright engrams from their loot pools. Mm-hmm. So every encounter, while you have this ghost, gives you a chance to drop a bright engram.
On top of the chance that you will level up and get a bright engram. So possibilities to get 2 bright engrams. So
yeah, I mean, this is purely additional bright engrams. Mm-hmm. And every time an encounter doesn't drop a bright engram, it increases the chance for a bright engram the next encounter.
Yeah, I love that.
So it's like, holy crap. So, I mean, it may take you a few encounters, yes, but you are going to be guaranteed 1 bright engram. I'd probably say a raid. That's just my guess. I mean, there's definitely no numbers there, but Oh yeah, and remember those exotics that can drop from encounters? Well, Seeker of Opulence means those exotics have a 50% chance to pull from a list of exotics you haven't collected yet instead of the standard list. So with this ghost, if you don't have all the exotics, then it basically has a 50-50 shot of turning your exotic into basically a fated exotic.
And on top of that, don't do what I did this week and think that the faded exotic that Xur has will lock out if you have all the exotics, because
no,
it does not. It does not. I thought it was, and then I got real crazy when I was like, ooh, I don't have something, and I thought it was a weapon or something cool, and then I hit the button, and it gave me the crest of Alpha Lupi. I was wearing the crest of Alpha Lupi.
It's like,
I was like,
okay. Yeah, I was glad I was able to clear that up for you.
Thanks for that 91. That's a 91
Yeah.
Shard Ingram right there. I'm out. I'm out, sir.
um, yeah, as those that don't know, um, yeah, the faded engrams do not prevent you from buying if you have all the exotics, which I found that out, I think it was 2 weeks ago. And I tried it on my Warlock after I was certain I had everything except, and yeah, it gave me, I think, Winter's Guile, which I had definitely gotten before.
Mm-hmm.
But, yes, and then, as if all this wasn't enough, this exotic ghost does have one more perk called Seeker of Glory, which isn't much, but it provides a tracker for the number of encounters you have defeated on the Leviathan. So for those hardcore raiders, this is basically your kill tracker ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And then they give you a picture of it, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one. I thought they'd go a little more with the color scheme.
Yeah, I thought the same
But,
thing, man.
They didn't. So, which it's probably going to be interesting because, I mean, this is a still image, and from the looks of it, this is going to have like a reflect, like the I guess the color scheme or the color or whatever. It's going to have a reflective surface to the ghost. So I feel to really judge it, I'd probably have to like actually get it and look at it and see how like the reflectives really work. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm on the fence on this one. I'm on the fence. I know I said it was going to be sexy, but I don't know. I'm on the fence.
And it's that weird new design as well.
Yeah.
Like you would think they would do something more Callus inspired. You know?
Yeah.
Even if they put like the symbols, the dogs, the axe, the sun, the cup, on the four sides, I would be okay with that.
I know, right?
But
I mean, it does have the Callus symbol itself, so I mean,
yeah,
it's that. But yeah, I don't. I just don't know.
I mean, I guess you're right. Beggars can't be choosers, right?
Yeah. Then there's no telling how quick like they did throw it together, but I mean, it looks good and it's exotic. I really wasn't expecting exotic, but you know, that's cool. That's cool. And that are the things that are coming with the raid. All right, now they move on to a patch note preview of what's going to be dropping on the 30th. First thing on this list is Prometheus Lens. And Flame Refraction perk will generate ammo instead of pulling from reserves. And they will be increasing its base damage. So as people know, you know, Prometheus Land got a huge hit, but they overdid the hit, and they promised that later they will be fixing it. So apparently the fix will be in place, and they're also tuning it a little bit, and increasing its base damage. So yeah, that thing's going to be lethal again. You're probably going to see it everywhere again.
Yeah,
because holy crap,
they really did. They said they were going to nerf it to the dirt.
Oh yeah.
They gave that warning so that way people didn't go, oh my god, Bungie, what did you do? But
yeah, exactly.
Some red versus blue laser tag in the future.
I know, right? Let's see. Fixed an issue where new characters created after the release of Curse of Osiris were not receiving the Flashpoint milestone. Okay. Players in social spaces like the towers receive a notification when their lost and found at the postmaster is full. That's a nice quality of life update.
Yeah, that's. I mean, even though mine's just full of shaders.
Yeah, no, right. Heroic strike completions will have a greater chance of granting exotic rewards. Mercury challenges are now available during adventures.
Oh.
Okay.
That's new. That's helpful.
Yeah. Fixed an issue where Curse of Osiris strikes were not properly granting clan engrams when featured as a nightfall activity. That's actually a pretty quick fix on that. Not super quick, but yeah. They got other things to work on.
Yeah.
uh, Fixed an issue where challenges were not appearing within quick play. Sure, sure. And they increased the dismantle timer for masterwork cores. Apparently, people are accidentally dismantling them.
Ugh.
Which,
why?
I know, right? Let's try to take it apart. Oh, how about you don't do that?
If you've learned anything from Destiny 1, it's
Yeah.
if you break something and you get something different for it, keep it.
All right, and then they do finally have a talk with us also about the shader issue. Now, they're not saying it's coming, which I know a lot of people, myself included, was hoping for whenever Cosmo tweeted out that they were going to be talking about shaders. And they're literally talking about shaders. And they are reiterating that changes are coming. And they're even saying it's like, you've been asking us why we can't just allow you to dismantle an entire stack of shaders. I mean, there are other consumables that can be dismantled en masse. It's a totally reasonable question, and we wanted to let you know the facts. We're not making excuses or claiming this problem is too hard to solve. We just want to be transparent about what the problem is and how we're going about solving it. Tyson, I don't know the name Tyson Green, and I don't think I knew the name of the guy talking about the raid work, the raid reward, the Daniel Ashenpaw? Ashenpaw. I don't know. That does sound familiar. They've Burning to get back with me on this one too, which as Burning Wing did let me know that the last dude that I didn't recognize may have been the guy responsible for the PC port of like not the guy responsible, but like the lead essentially responsible for like the feel or how D2 feels on PC. So yeah. So the way it works is shaders are, of course, individual items. And they are individual items that upon dismantle basically trigger like individual rewards. So the issue that they're working around is the fact that it's triggering, like dismantling stacks of shaders are going to be triggering dozens or potentially hundreds of reward bundles simultaneously. So, it's not, they say what's challenging is not simply like, it's not challenging because it's like just an arbitrary number of rewards need to be run, but because they want to safeguard against scenarios where the produced items that couldn't fit into your inventory, which could be instantly lost, which they give an example, which I don't think they actually care about this example, but just to give an example, shaders that produce glimmer could easily evaporate into nothing if you were at or near the cap, which, yes, I've done before. So they do mention that it would be relatively easy to find another button on the controller, L2 plus X. Kind of tell that dude plays PlayStation. Anyway, and let players actually delete a full stack, but that isn't the spirit of what players are asking for. So we're looking at a stronger solve. In addition, we're also looking at how to address other shader feedback. It should be easier to get rid of a stack of shaders. We are looking at mass exchange solutions. We know you missed D1 shader mechanics. Looking at ways to reintegrate that capability without losing the ability to shade weapons, ghosts, ships, sparrows, or customize specific pieces of armor. Nice. And we also understand you want shaders to be more freely usable and not limited by availability. We're looking at reintroducing shader collections or a way to get copies of a shader in your possession. And these are the things that they are working on. And this is essentially why shaders are pushed into the fall category of the update roadmap. So yeah, this is what's taking shaders forever. So yeah, they are saying it's an easy fix if they wanted to be lazy about it. essentially. You know, like I said, add a button combination and poof, there's a stack of shaders gone. But yeah, they're looking at a better way of doing that. So that way you can, I guess, get the most out of the shaders.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, they're working. It is definitely, like I said, what they're working on is definitely more complex than I was thinking about. That's for sure. Because it's interesting that they say it mass exchange solutions. So I'm guessing what was it?
Maybe like you highlight what you want to get rid of, and you can do multiple selections.
I'm thinking they did a material exchange in D1. Class specific class armor materials when they got rid of those. And they turned on the option at, I think it was the Vanguard Quartermaster, and they turned on the option that you can exchange your class specific armor materials and turn them into the armor materials that we got at the end of the D1 cycle. So I'm thinking like something like that.
Okay.
Like having either a vendor or an option at a vendor to basically like exchange out stacks, or because I mean those armor materials you can exchange one at a time, 10 at a time, 100 at a time, but they were all options. So that's kind of what I'm thinking when they say that. But I'm not them, so I don't know.
It's just us thinking here, folks.
Yeah, just talking out loud. And they do finally mention coming soon, Fall of Osiris Part 2. Very nice. And that's pretty much that for that. They do give in the DPS. They do, of course, broadcast the maintenance window. Monday, the 29th, Destiny will undergo back-end maintenance, which means they're not actually taking things down, and there's no expected downtime unless something happens. You may get randomly kicked, maybe, but other than that, it's not going to interrupt like services very much. But then Tuesday, the 30th, Destiny services will be brought offline for maintenance, as 1.1.2 will also become available upon maintenance completion. So at 8 a.m. Pacific, 1600 UTC, Destiny server maintenance is scheduled to begin. Players will no longer be able to sign into Destiny services. Wait, Destiny? The 9 a.m. Pacific players still in Destiny 2 activities will be returned to the title screen.
Yeah, so it's a full pull-out.
That's weird. Yeah, I'm just... it's weird because they just say Destiny, like, at the 8 a.m., and then 9 a.m. is like, Destiny 2 activities is like... all right. Just when they decide to say Destiny 2 is really weird. But, and then 12 p.m. Pacific, 2000 UTC, Destiny server maintenance is scheduled to conclude. 1.1.2 will be available to download and install, and Iron Banner will begin as soon as maintenance concludes. So as soon as you're capable, and after your patch is downloaded and installed, you can banner it up. And then again, on Wednesday, there will be no expected downtime because it's back-end maintenance again. And they again give the warning for Armor Masterworks reworking perks. Latent development, an issue was discovered impacting the ability to rework Masterwork armor pieces quickly in succession. If a player attempts to rework a Masterwork armor piece immediately after reworking the item, that means holding the button, getting it done, and then holding the button and trying to get it done again, a progress bar will fill, but no action is completed in-game. The armor piece will retain the previously held perk, and no Masterwork cores are lost due to the issue. Players will be required to attempt this action again when experiencing this issue. So if you try to do it too fast, it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So thankfully, this isn't like a bug that doesn't consume your cores. So there's really like no harm, no foul. But if you try and rework your armor too fast, it's not going to happen. Whew! And that was 12.
And that was the that was a that was a novel.
That was, I mean, sweet Christ. Like, man. They mentioned, like, more information. And like I said, just the fact that they told us, like, an exact percentage, 3% damage reduction per masterwork armor in your super.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little ridiculous. Like, that's something Bungie's not done before. I mean, it's very rare that they attach numbers to these features. I mean, holy crap. But yeah, so Matchwork Armor is coming. Raid's being reworked. Raid's really being, I think, reworked very well.
Oh, yeah.
I think. The Exotic Ghost is very nice. It's definitely going to be, like, for those people that are still raiding to do that raid, or any piece of that raid, it's like, you're definitely going to want that ghost shell. Because, I mean, I just see that, adding a lot of value. I mean, kind of literally, because it's giving you, premium engrams, basically. But yeah, and so far, I think the overall reception of this TWAB in, like, all of the community has been fairly positive, actually. But, may not last long, but for a time we have a fairly happy and positive community.
It's like, shh, don't remind them, Des. Don't remind
I know,
them,
right?
buddy.
Don't tell them they're salty douchebags a lot of the time. Don't do that. Don't. No.
We keep
But
that quiet.
yeah. So yeah, so I mean it's all in all, it's been a pretty good week in Destiny. If only I actually logged in a little more and did things in Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Crap.
All right. Well then, I'll just briefly go over my experiences in the raid lair.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Tell us about your raid lair.
It was really fun. I don't have time, as we all know. I have a very limited amount of time to play.
Of course.
With job and whatnot, and in the personal life. We did it in, I want to say, under 2 hours, and that's with I think half of us. I don't want to. Maybe two of us never did it. Myself and another person never did the raid layer, so the mechanics were just new. And that's, sit down. Here's what's going to happen. You do this. This is what's going to happen. Like the explanation of all of it. But I mean, it was fun. It was fulfilling. When we got to the final boss, I obviously everyone knows the enrage mechanic, which is enraging for everyone involved, including the players. We had him down to, I don't want to say a sliver, but like a decent hunk of life. Yeah. And it was just like the guy the shot caller was just just pull, hit him with everything. And we just let hell loose on him. And I guess the way, because everybody was using masterwork weapons, making orbs, they all fell to the bottom of the platform where I was standing, and I was using my hammers, and I was just throwing hammers at the boss, and watching him go, and they were like, "We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it." And I just, I shot one hammer, I just kept going, and then I guess I was standing where the motes of light were. So the second my hammer was done, I had another hammer. And literally, like, there's no countdown. Like, you don't see how long until there's a wipe, but the screen gets a little wonky. And it was maybe 2 seconds from a wipe, and he died. And I can remember what the guys were like, I don't know how we did that. It was so funny, just the reactions, like, what, we did it? We did it? And of course, I get busted up. I get fired up for no reason. And I yell. And the missus is in the living room, and she's like, "Are you okay? Did you fall? Is your knee hurt? What happened? Talk to me." And I'm like, "We won. Sorry, babe." But I didn't get. I mean, I got tokens, and I got the Beetleborg helmet.
Nice.
But it was fun. It gave me that old D1 when I used to be a crazy raider feeling.
Good. I've heard lots of good things about this, about the raid layer. I mean, they really seem to hit it out of the park with this one.
Oh yeah, and it's beautiful. I mean,
oh, no doubt.
I
mean, the entire game is beautiful. I mean, come on.
That's true.
Yeah.
And sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to.
No problem.
I didn't mean to slight you. You know, no.
Oh, it's no issue. This way they have one less, if we can't get another practice in, which pretty sure we might be able to, but yeah, they'll have one less noob to explain things to. Talks probably slowly too.
Are you talking about during the charity stream that the RNG cast is a part of on February 10th?
Bingo.
Which we will be having, I believe, that day. We'll have Average Joe. Who,
yeah, I do believe.
As we all know. And Goku, Super Saiyan Goku, who is...
Super Saiyan 5
Super
Goku.
Saiyan 5 Goku, yeah. He was in with me in the raid, and it was fun.
Indeed.
But yeah, he'll be. I think he said he wants to join. You know, obviously he's getting a doctorate.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to tell a guy who's going to have a PhD.
No, right?
So that would be very interesting. I think we're aiming for within the next 2 weeks. That's going to happen. That way we can get the obviously. That way we're not doing it after the stream, after the charity stream.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah. Yes, that's exactly what these practice runs, because I mean, running it blind would have been really cool, but at the same time, it's like there are things we definitely wish to talk about on the Saint 14 Project mental health charity stream.
Yes.
So, like I said, a little more of the oohs, the ahs that we can get out of the way, and a little more of the explanations we can get out of the way, the better we're going to be able to really have a sit down and chat about things. But yeah, and like I said, I haven't. We've spoken, but not actually. Well, I haven't spoken. Well, actually, no, we haven't spoken to everybody that's going to be involved in our little block. Or like I said, at least I haven't. But I mean, this is going to be. I mean, as always, we're always going to be us. We're always going to be RNG. But at the same time, like, these could take some deeper turns than what you're probably used to, like hearing us talk about.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, do be prepared for that. Like, you might get quite a serious Buster and Raven coming into this live stream and talking about some, because I mean, mental health. I mean, it's an important thing. It covers a wide variety of issues, and I mean, depression, anxiety, PTSD. There's just so many things covered by this mental health blanket term that, I mean, like I said, it's going to get deep and it's going to get serious. But yeah.
But it's all for a great
cause.
cause.
It's all for a good cause, because not only are we trying to like raise money for like a specific thing, but the goal is also
awareness.
Yeah, there's one reason I really like this idea, because I'm sure we're gonna have like some kind of like, of course, donatable link to I don't know, like 100%, but I'm pretty sure like there's going to be like a charitable foundation benefiting.
Yes.
Possible donations. But I can't remember what that foundation may be.
Hold on.
The professional Raven is good Raven. But no, like a large portion of like the purpose of the Saint 14 Project stream isn't just to raise money, but to get people that are affected with these mental health issues, like breaking the ice with them essentially, because most of the dangers for a lot of mental health issues isn't even really the issue itself per se. I don't want to downplay any issues, but a lot more of the problem is the fact that nobody goes to, like, a lot of people with these problems don't go and seek help. So, like, one definitely primary goal that I'm seeing, like, all over the Saint 14 Project Twitter is just to break the ice and break the stigma about talking about these issues just with people, and especially people that can help. So, like I said, this is going to be, like a pretty deep and serious thing, at least for our part. I mean, it's going to be a little uncharacteristic, but I mean, like I said, it's a good cause, and bringing people out and into the open about their issues is the best thing that can happen for people suffering from mental health issues, for sure.
It's takethis.org is who it's in conjunction with, and if you are a Zelda fan, it's a deep Zelda cut. It's the first thing a character says to you in the original Zelda.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
So, also, we will be, because, we're not, I don't want to say assholes, because we can be assholes, but we're not.
Oh, we can be.
Yeah, but we're not always assholes. We are sharing the block, obviously, with Average Joe. He's going to be with us. Always fun to have some game time with that guy. Super Saiyan 5 Goku will be with us as well. Once again, I'm not going to tell a guy with a gentleman getting the PhD.
I know, right?
You can't run Destiny with us. And also we will be us, Buster Knuckle, Dad's Raven. But joining us as well are good buddies from Rasputin Radio.
We're going to have a lot of people in there.
We got a full raid group.
Yeah, and like pretty much everyone has a thing that they're talking about that pretty much personally affects us. So, I mean, so yeah. Then, yeah. So, yeah. Everyone has like a little P. That's one thing I really do like about this group as well, is the fact that everyone has like a different piece that they kind of have like experience with and such. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, these aren't just, like I said, Super Saiyan 5 Goku, he's getting a PhD in it. So, I mean, it's those type of people that study things that definitely know what they're talking about.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, good Lord, a PhD is what? At least 6 years of school? Like at a minimum, I think?
I think
like usually like 10?
I think you're being very generous with 6.
Oh, I mean, maybe if they're like really smart and like
they do it up,
and they basically don't take any like the college breaks. Basically, I'm thinking a person might be able to like, speed study their way through a PhD in like 6 years. Is what I'm like my thought pattern. It could be completely unrealistic. I don't know. Lord knows I'm not going for a PhD anytime soon. So that's pretty much as far as I know about PhDs. But
I got a bachelor's for free, so I'm good, baby. I'm good.
But yeah, so he's gonna again. So there's that. So we do have like the medical side to it as well, basically, as well as a bunch of anecdotal experience to be able to talk about. It's going to be a great cause. It's going to be a good time. I mean, one way or the other, no matter how serious or not we get, it's going to be a good time.
Also, we have to keep it PG-13, which will be a challenge for me.
Yes. Yes. That will be a challenge for Buster. For sure. But yeah, that's TWAB. That's Destiny Future. My week in Destiny. Like I said, I did a Flashpoint. The end. Surprisingly, though, it wasn't on my Hunter.
Yeah, because I picked
up. Yeah, because my Titan. I mean, anyone that listens long term is like my Hunter's Future War Cult, a Titan's New Monarchy, and my Warlock's Dead Orbit. So Dead Orbit wins. All right, I logged in, picked up the Loquitur for cheap, headed straight to the Flashpoint just to give it a try, because I definitely wanted that piece of information under my belt. Like, if I didn't do anything in Destiny, I needed to try the Loquitur, because that was one I was like super interested in getting too. And New Monarchy actually won, and it's like, all right.
Hey,
Not
yeah.
sad. Not sad about this. I mean, I do agree with Cosmo. One of these days, the FWC is going to get the W, but it was not today or last week. Maybe
It is not
next
this
time.
day.
Yeah, but yeah, I've definitely been busy in like other things. I noticed you very slyly have been busy to a degree. Because there was a time I could have sworn I didn't see you online, and all of a sudden in my activity feed, I noticed you earned a trophy in Borderlands 2.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. My activity feed, like, I don't know if you're actually like appearing offline or whatever, but yeah, my activity feed told on you.
I was not actually. I don't think
Okay.
I've appeared
I didn't
offline
see
for a
you.
while,
That's
but
weird.
it was the
Yeah, I
first.
didn't actually see you at that time.
We got a pretty big. I mean, we both probably have an extensive friends list, so
Oh
I
yeah.
understand. But yeah,
Yeah, I just noticed that and it's like, nice. So you
I
hit level 5. What do you
I
think for
oh
now?
I dig it, man.
Yeah, I figured. Like, because legitimately, it's like your love, or at least my love for Handsome Jack came pretty much as soon as the game starts.
He
So it's like,
said
okay, he
he
hit level 5.
he
So it's
said
like,
I'm really rich. Like I have a pony made out of diamonds. No, no, no. Like a real pony made out of
exactly.
diamonds.
It's
And I
like,
was
oh, you think I'm talking about a statue? No,
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 I'm
no.
talking about the pony. It's like, wait, what?
There's been so many giggles from Handsome Jack. It uh,
Yeah,
just a reverence, just the cockiness. And I mean, I don't know the story. I didn't play the first one.
yeah, yeah.
I have the prequel
Well,
and the second one.
yeah, okay, all right. So the thing about the first Borderlands, from what I've like gathered and seen, there's not like a really lot of overt story. It almost had like a Destiny type story that a lot of the story elements that you see are like bits and pieces here and there.
Okay.
And the story of Borderlands, like from what I can gather, again, I could be wrong. As people have noted, I don't know a lot. Like disclaimer, not a Borderlands expert, but I did try and like go back and look and see like a Borderlands playthrough, like to check the story. But there doesn't really seem to be a lot of overt story other than you're a vault hunter looking for a vault, and that's it.
On Pandora, which is the
Yeah.
planet.
So, like I said, from what I can gather, the story really starts in Borderlands 2, and that's when everything really ramps up and kickstarts.
Okay.
So, you're not missing a lot other than like the starting town and like Hyperion coming down and taking over because pretty much actually the first few like the opening cinematic of Borderlands 2
Mm.
recaps Borderlands 1, except of course, it tells in a way that Handsome Jack did everything and takes all the glory because he does. Even though he's not actually introduced in Borderlands 1. So yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's pretty much the story of Borderlands 1. The Vault Hunter finds a vault, opens it, and like a lot of what actually happens story-wise just happens between Borderlands 2, and then Borderlands like I said, from what I can understand. So you're not missing a lot by not playing Borderlands 1, essentially.
I also enjoy Claptrap a whole lot.
Oh, Claptrap.
So much.
He's that annoying one that you think if he didn't have a good personality, you could really easily hate, but he does have a good personality. So at least for me, I'm like stuck between liking him and hating him because it's like, shut up, Claptrap. But you still want to hear him because he's hilarious.
Also, holy shit. I didn't know that anyone can join you at any time. And
Yeah,
just be like, hey,
it's a
buddy.
jump in. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's a jump in. So if you're open for people to jump in, people can jump in. They can just straight up join you and like, hi, what's up?
Yeah, that's right. I'm level 71. Enjoy how easy this game, how much fun this game is going to be for you. Which
I know, right?
it raises the level of difficulty for
Oh
everybody.
yeah. Oh yeah.
But it's super useful. Blink Brack jumped in.
Yeah.
He sent me a message. He was like, "Hey, do you mind if I join?" I'm like, "Come on in." And he was like, "Cool, I'll bring my I think it was a siren. Is that the Yeah, that's the healer, right?
That's one of her mini trees.
Yeah. No, but he was literally like, "Don't worry, if you go down, I got you." And I went down, of course, and he was like, "Yeah, I got you. Don't worry about it." And
yeah. Oh yeah. She is. Yeah, she is kind of like the healer. Like her ultimate, her like phase lock or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the trees makes it to where she can pick you up instead of like locking an enemy in place.
Yeah.
So she like the siren has like a distance pickup ability, which is super like beneficial.
And I took Commando, by the way. I know that was your next question.
I definitely figured like it was either going to be Commander or Necromancer, but
I have multiple character slots, so I could probably play a Necromancer.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, you can basically essentially have one of every character, literally, without like interfering or like deleting anything, from what I can understand.
Our buddy Arisen Phoenix gave us a little bit of a talking to, because we glanced over briefly the Psycho, and if I remember correctly, I did mention it, and you said you didn't play it, so you don't want to talk out of church, which we know, I'm sure that people appreciate.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm definitely trying to be straightforward with things that I definitely don't know, because I mean, listen long enough. I know a good few many things when it comes about video games. Like I keep my ear to the ground. I've just learned a lot, but that means like uncharacteristically for me. I mean, I try and like say for audience purposes, like, I don't know a lot about this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got into Borderlands super late, basically. Speaking of which, there is a sale right now, and Borderlands is on sale digitally again, probably for super cheap. Because I mean, if it's like 30% off, and it's already cheap digitally, it's gonna be super cheap for anyone that doesn't have it. I can't see how much the deal is because I've had it forever. Yeah. Well, not forever, but for at least a year, I think. Because it was one of these sales that I got, and I was like, I'll give it a shot. And yeah, but yeah, it's on sale so much. So yeah, if you're wanting to try Borderlands 2 or have heard a bunch about it, just keep your eyes on the sale, man. It goes on sale like multiple times a year on PSN. It is a little ridiculous how many times Borderlands, the Handsome Collection, goes on sale on PSN. It's a little ridiculous, but yeah.
It's also a very interesting art style.
Very, very, and the fact that it's cel shaded is just an interesting thing, because I mean it was kind of made in a point in time where, I mean, even now cel shading isn't super popular. I know the Naruto fighting series has moved a little more towards actually no, they may have moved away from cel shading. I don't even know anymore. But cel shading isn't usually like super popular in Eastern development, especially because I know there are some like Japanese games that, like Naruto, I think Saint Seiya, like things that are like mimicking that comic book like manga feel, basically usually go with the cel shaded art style. But yeah, it's like, again, this is a Western looter shooter, so I mean, very weird.
I like it though.
Oh yeah, it fits. It definitely fits. Everything just fits. It's like Gearbox really had something on their hands when they came out with this, and they have taken full advantage of it.
Oh yeah,
I feel.
Yeah.
And then there's rumors that Borderlands 3 is not going to be a thing.
I will get it.
I know, right? I would definitely like break into that, like, as soon as I could.
I was surprised that I like it as much as I do, but I'm sure you're not, because you know what kind of games I like and how I play, because it's definitely like, if you like the Joker, you like Anthem Jack. That's how I feel.
Yeah, he definitely has that, like, I mean, he's more sane, but at the same time, he just has that like connection because Joker, like, good lord, he talks to Batman almost like a friend, even though they try to murder. Well, he tries to murder him, and Batman comes out of the top like every time. So I mean, yeah, it's
You can't
very interesting.
you can't kill me because you don't kill. I can't kill you because I'll be bored.
Yeah, yeah,
That's almost what it feels like to me. It's a very I mean I would hazard to guess. Hey, buddy, you want to get some Borderlands in tonight?
yeah. Um, so yeah, I've also been like diving into DC Universe Online, as I stated last week. I'm actually still not into the new episodes systems, so it's a bit of a grind to reach the like I said, the start of the end game, but it's not as hard as I was kind of thinking, or I was kind of yeah, I was kind of thinking it would have been.
Yeah,
Because there is a quest to get you like started, and as long as you actually make it through that quest, because I was kind of like completioning like I said the mid game start for the grind to get to the combat rating needed to hop into the new episodes, which I
right.
still cannot wait to get into the episodic content and go through like those stories and such. But yeah, I mean it's whatever like the missions were like normal MMO feel like the grind is definitely a bit MMO feel because after you hit level cap, I mean, it's all about hitting new item levels, and for DCU they call it, your combat rating, and it is basically your item level after leveling. Um, those familiar with Destiny, it's light level or power level.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's where Destiny got the idea. Um, so for those saying like Destiny 2 is getting rid of all of its RPG mechanics, no, it kind of isn't. But I don't know. Like I said, it's there's like definitions and such of RPG that I think is kind of lost to a degree, but I don't know. So yeah, so I'm still getting into I'm kind of hit the point to where I'm able to run an alt character and
Okay.
get them leveled up to 30 while my primary is waiting on loot locks to clear, essentially. So at least I'm at that point, and so I'm having, like I said, my first villain was gadget primary, and now I'm running a sorcery hero under Batman to see like the differences and such, and yeah, still pretty fun. I mean,
I'm gonna say it right now. Paladin's warning. Paladin's warning. Paladin's warning.
yeah, for sure,
I,
because
I noticed, buddy, you were pretty deep into that Paladins this week.
dude, like I said, OB65 finally dropped, and I finally came to, and it's like, all right, it's time to spend time with this
Mm-hmm.
and see how it feels. And I did just that. I loaded in. I noticed the new quest system. Um, so I played a couple of games of Classic Siege. Um,
That's not with the cards unbound. That's
well, yeah, there's two different systems right now with the cards. Um, there's bound and then there's unbound.
mm-hmm.
Unbound is literally taking your cards at their actual level. So unbound game modes are um, the new Siege. Well, basically anything under arcade mode or under the arcade playlist is unbound. So that's the new Siege, that's Onslaught, that's the new Team Deathmatch mode.
Mm-hmm.
All of those are unbound systems. So you go in and like the literal level of your card is what you're dealing with.
So it would
Um,
behoove you to.
so I mean, there's definitely interesting systems that I didn't like foresee or really like think about even really looking to see changed. Um, and I noticed like there's like an entire system in Paladins that I hadn't taken advantage of because I kind of forgot about it, and that's the trainings, which puts you against AI opponents.
Yeah.
And if there's anyone else searching in these training playlists, they will put you with those human teammates against a team of AI. So it is like super helpful because, like I said, I'm getting in. Um, I gave the team deathmatch a try in training against AI, and like I said, I've been trying a few new champions out. Like I said, with this card system and such, and I realized the training matches, like when it comes to the quest system, um, you can use these training matches to complete quests.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
So, because there was a quest that was like either I think it was they have it occasionally. It's like they'll have a quest out that'll give you a free, you know, whatever the new premium box is.
Yeah.
Um, and they had a quest for the lunar box, which is a Chinese or New Year or Chinese New Year, whatever,
Is it the
very
one with
Asian theme.
Red Panda Makoa?
Yes, 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 it is. Um, so yeah, but it was like win 3 team deathmatch matches, you get a lunar chest, and it's like, well, let me hit this versus AI and at least get used to it, right? And just see how it was. Next thing I know, I'm getting progress on that doing versus AI, and it's like, oh yes, come to Papa.
That's pretty.
Because
That's pretty cool.
yeah, running against AI, especially once you start getting just like 2 or 3 other people stacking in, this is some of the quickest matches in Paladins like ever. And it really, like I said before, it's I forgot about it, and I probably would have had a better time learning certain champions if I remembered that this was a thing. Um, on a side note, I think I found my flank main.
Who is it?
I freaking love Talus.
Okay.
It's like Ermagerd. He
Yeah,
is
he is fun. I
oh
I actually got a couple games with Emoji, which I was surprised. Cause
freaking adorable.
oh my god, so adorable, and like the way the dragons work
Yeah,
together, it's so fucking good. Uh,
yeah,
I mean, the ultimate is just hilarious.
it is. It is, which I did find out. Yeah, people move around as this freaking dog treat because I mentioned before. I don't know if you can move. Yeah, you can move. You're a bouncing freaking dog treat,
Yeah,
and it is hilarious. Oh my god,
but you can,
it is hilarious.
but they're not as fast. It's like you're a chicken, basically.
Yeah. So I mean, oh, it's great. But so yeah, so I completed a bunch of quests, and when I mean a bunch of quests, as we mentioned before, also they finally settled on like a story and lore, or yeah, lore behind like the champions and their bios. There is a 34 part lore quest
hmm I
that ends in a diamond chest, a free diamond chest, and every part of this lore quest unlocks a character's bio. So there are 34 characters in Paladins, but or 35? No, 34. But yeah, and each part of the lore quest is a match of some kind, whether it's siege, whether it's onslaught, whether it's like I think a couple may have been team deathmatch. I can't remember, but yeah, it's usually like siege or onslaught, and you're cycling between those two. So yeah, I hit versus AI because again, it was the fastest matches, and I have a ton of fun playing versus AI on onslaught. So that's become like a fun game mode for me as long as it's versus AI. Um, and I have unlocked everyone's bio.
I, I,
I
I'm
within 2 days,
so they put
I've unlocked everyone's bio.
they put lore now.
Oh yeah, yeah. The lore right now is basically unlocked in character bios. When you go to your champion, you tab over to overview, and if you've completed their lore seeker quest, then you will see their bio. If you haven't completed their lore seeker quest, it's just the general overviews. Androxus, the Godslayer, how many skins, weapons, and accessories you've unlocked for that character. And it'll leave you a note that says character bio will be unlocked with completion of a quest.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, everybody now has a pretty well set in stone backstory.
Way to go, Hi-Res. Way to make a game that I loved, and then kind of just was like, I'll come back to it. And then I'm like, yeah. I'm going to come back now, because I just saw yesterday when I was playing it, like, obviously, we here at RNG are not tied to any game. We're random. We embrace it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to play Bungie because, one, he looks like Wardo from He-Man. I'm sorry. And two, those dragons look super fucking cute. And,
oh, yeah.
I saw, I was like, I wonder what's VIP this, because my VIP ended. And I was like, I don't want to update my VIP. And then I looked, and there was the Ice Walker and Nara, and I'm like, I'm going to probably update my VIP.
That's probably happening.
I'm probably going to do it real quick. If I had Twitch Prime, I'd probably get the Primal Stalker as well. But,
I know, right? That mount is sick.
I can have Sabercat from He-Man?
I know, right?
Oh
my God. And it looks good. Actually, because I've seen a couple people with it. And it's actually a little wider than a horse.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's actually a little wider. So, I mean, it doesn't seem to be just a horse reskin. It's like, it's its own creature.
Also, I like the demon horse, or the demon, like the weird...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That thing was dope. It looked really cool, and I was happy with it. I'm like, yep.
Yeah. I may have to main Fernando now, though.
I mean, I don't want to say I told you so, but I love Fernando.
No, I mean, my diamond chest unlocked his Gundam costume.
The black Gundam?
No, not the black one. The red and blue. The original red, blue, and white.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, so it's like, crap, I'm going to have to main him now.
I know you have Dark Lord Torvald. And,
I do.
If I ever get that skin, I mean, I'm already a Torvald main.
Yeah, I mean, oh my God, it's nice. Yeah, that's I've started tinkering with Torvald, and because of that, so yeah, at least my front line like meta might have to switch. But yeah, I've also been toying around with Vivian. Oh my God, Vivian is a little brutal. Like, holy.
Brutal to play or brutal to play against?
Brutal. I mean, like, she seems very, very strong, I think.
Oh, okay.
Because I mean, she's like a hybridized tank. Because I mean, not only does she have a crap ton of rounds in her freaking LMG, but she has a shield that she can summon up, and like sensor drones to tell, like, as like a flank protection basically. So I mean, she's like hybridized frontline and does damage really, really good. She has a card that if she's firing for 2 seconds, she gets for over 2 seconds, she gets a damage boost. So, and I think she can fire for about 3 seconds solid. So it's like, holy crap. And then her ult. They've definitely adjusted it, because I've heard people say, or I've definitely heard, like, before, because again, we didn't get OB64, so we weren't able to see. But it's like before, like if she died, if her ult drones weren't destroyed, she would respawn with them. And they would like almost be persistent, like truly. But when she dies now, they go away.
Oh, that's gross.
So there's that. But if you win around and you have them out and you don't, yeah, they stay.
Ooh.
Yeah, so she's still strong, and she can get crazy damage off if you can keep those drones up. But yeah, she might steal into a little bit of Victor time.
Really?
Yeah, she might.
As much as you love Victor.
Yeah, she might. I've been giving her a try, and like I said, Talus Okay. When I started a couple days ago, uh, Talus was not even a leveled character for me.
Uh-huh.
I am right now level 7 with Talus.
Uh-huh.
I'm playing a crap ton with him because he is like I say, he's super fun as a flank. Uh, like I said, I mean, I played with Androx and Lex before, but I got Talus. He's just super fun and harassy. I haven't even played him really against people yet, which I haven't even touched rank yet. Have not touched rank yet. I still want to get used to I want to get used to these new characters because Cards Unbound. That and I want to get used to Saris.
Yeah.
I kind of have to main Saris because I feel Cards Unbound screws over Genos super super hard. Because when you're in bound mode, which is ranked and classic siege, then Genos' heal. I mean, you used to be able to get a Genos heal like once every 4 seconds, and that was okay for Genos. I felt that was okay with that loadout, like for healing. But now in the bound mode, you can only get the fastest cooldown you get for his heal 6 seconds, which yeah, it's only a 2 second difference, but
2 seconds when you're getting when you're getting laid into by two
exactly.
frontliners is ridiculous.
Exactly. So I mean, I feel his healing capabilities are really, really impaired uh, under bound mode, which puts all cards at rank 4, um, regardless of if you've actually earned it at rank 4 or not. All cards normalize to rank 4 in bound gameplay. So that's classic siege and competitive.
Okay. Now,
Um,
real quick question for the training:
mhm.
you don't get character levels, right?
Well, yeah, yeah. What?
Like if you have like a nine, say a nine Torvald, and you just play a bunch of training, you won't get 10, 11. Like you don't get character experience, but you do get
Oh no,
missions.
you get everything when training. It's basically a match clear. You earn VIP points, you earn gold, you earn XP, you earn character chests. I mean, I got Talos to level 7 through these training matches. Like I said, I have not taken him to.
Shit. Are you?
Yeah, this. I mean, it's like a match clear,
Huh?
and I have yet to lose versus training. Thank God. Like a lot. Like high res AI isn't. It's derpy and awful at times because it'll like run into a corner for a few seconds, and you'll see like Androx floating against the ceiling sometimes in like a very small room. So it's a little derpy sometimes. But the AI, like when it starts to hit, because I've been pulled by several Makoa AI now, and they actually program the AI to as soon as you're tagged with the pull, the AI actually turns, which is Makoa strat. You pull and you turn to disorient, like.
Yeah, the throw.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it kind of throws. I mean, your character is always facing forward, so if Makoa turns, that means you're not facing him when the pull finishes.
Mm-hmm.
You're heading, he's like to your left or to your right. So you have to start turning, and he's able to start shooting at you. So, I mean, they program them with like current strats, and you can definitely tell it's PC programming because, like, evasive for maneuvers for AI is to start jumping, which is a very PC thing. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I've learned a kind of respect for high res AI. Um, but yeah, so I mean, like I said, with cards bound, I mean, I'm kind of having to shuffle who I'm familiar with and who I'm comfortable with. So I'm nowhere. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not hitting ranked yet. That's I mean, yeah, I'm not hitting competitive yet. That's not yet. Like I said, I always fall back on Victor, but everybody else is pretty much shifted. Um, and they've changed so many systems that it's a little ridiculous. They've entirely revamped the first win of the day. Before, you can win 3 times for first win of the day bonuses, which used to just be gold. Now, first win of the day does not apply to your actual game wins, but your game wins under a specific champion. Now, one thing they've done for Cards Unbound is that during certain level ups for your character, you earn very character specific. They're like radiant chests, but you only earn cards for this specific character and only that specific character.
Huh.
Exactly. It's like, and you could buy these character chests as well for gold and VIP points, which kind of negates the whole good
Cool.
going for, yeah, good going for not going pay to win. But if you're VIP, you can buy VIP points with diamonds. So there's that. But yeah, oh well. Like I said, I'll probably be hanging out mainly in Classic Siege and Comp anyway, so I'm not really worried about that. But yeah, you can purchase character-specific treasure chests. They will drop character-specific cards, and they will not drop duplicates of any fully leveled cards. So you can eventually, with these chests, get like a full layout. And I'm looking, for no particular reason, I am looking at Shaolin and level 1, 2, 3, 4, then 6, 9, 11, 13, 14, 17, 18 are all character chest rewards for leveling up at those levels. The only bad news is, which I do kind of agree with some of the community, is that high res doesn't actually let you like go back. Like if you've already went over that character level, you can't go back and like reclaim it. So it's kind of lost if you, because like my Victor is at level 14, so that's a lot of chests that I'm not seeing with him.
Oh, that sucks. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of OL because again, your first win of the day now applies to specific champions, and when you use a champion and get a win with them, what you get is a character specific chest for your first win of the day with that champion. And you can do that with 5 champions. So, yeah, first win of the day applies to specific champions, and you can get 1 character chest for winning with a champion, and you can do that with 5 individual champions, which, again, like somebody, for me, like Victor, I can play Victor. I can like pound out a win, which also counts in training, like these first win of the day bonuses. You can also get in training. So if you want to guarantee your wins of the day and get these character chests, train versus AI. And like I said, like like I can get a daily character chest with Victor just by getting a win with him, which is very, very nice considering, like I said, he's level 14. It takes for freaking ever to get character levels once you get them high. Like Jesus. Yeah, I've been trying out Saris and versus AI, and like I said, I've been trying out Vivian. I might be buying a lunar chest or 2 because I want to get Madame Saris. Oh my!
The Saris, the angelic Saris, looks really good.
It does, but at the same time, Saris wearing a Chinese. Oh my God, what's it called? Crap! I used to be big enough weeaboo to know what that dress was called.
The kimono?
No, it's not a kimono. It's like a. It's not a kimono. It's like a. It's like I said, it's more Chinese dress. What was it called? Like a bang tao, something like that. Sheng tao. Ah, crap! I can't even. Like somebody's gonna murder me. I'm sorry, Holden, if you're listening.
A kipo?
I don't know.
Something like that.
I can't remember anymore. But yeah, either way, it's like this red Chinese dress. It looks amazing because it also gives like Sarah's like a normal hairstyle and like normal clothes instead of her ripped and tattered clothes, which actually now makes sense because of her story. But yeah,
you know I'm playing training right now, right? Good buddy, you know I'm in it right now.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot though. I mean, there's a lot they added, and it is essentially a different game. So I can understand because with OB64, a lot of people left, or people think like people leaving D2 is a very bad and drastic thing because people are having to deal with like the changes. I give props to some of these like Paladins people because Paladins from beta launch or from alpha launch has changed. Like the cards unbound system is like the third drastic overhauling change that this game has had since alpha launch. The third. And it's not even out of beta yet. I mean, yeah, these people have had to deal with drastic sweeping changes in the same game.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, plus it's a very, I mean, that's one thing I can say about the Paladins community, man. Like they stick. Like if they're into
Oh,
it,
yeah,
they
a lot of them do.
stick.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of course there's a lot of YouTubers like because I've seen like a lot of videos like, oh, how OB64 is killing Paladins. Not really, but okay. Um, like I said, we're seeing it mimicked in the D2 community. So I mean, it's been around, and it's been around here, it's been around there. I mean, people have been, you go to the Paladins forums, and you're seeing how people, or you're now seeing how OB64 is killing or has killed the game. But hilariously, before that, I think it was OB46. Hilariously, maybe, or 45 or 44, somewhere in the 40s, that quote unquote ruined the game back then too. But yet it is just getting more popular.
Mm-hmm.
And holy crap, they're apparently OB66 is not out for PTS, but they have had dev insight of things that they're wanting to include. For one, Battlegrounds is expected to be released in OB66.
Yes.
What the holy balls?
Can I tell you how fucking excited I am for Battlegrounds?
Oh my god, that's ridiculous. Like I knew I heard somewhere that they wanted to be like first quarter, but the next open beta build? Whew, and they're launching season 2 competitive?
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're trying to change a few things. Let's see, we're excited to announce that season 2 will kick off later this spring. Let's see. Soft competitive reset for everyone's player rankings, borders, and MMR will be lowered just slightly, creating a more even level playing field for the start of the new season. Fair. Instead of, there will be 2 additional bans at the beginning of the drafting phase. So it seems like both sides are going to be able to get 2 bans instead of 1, which makes sense because the roster is getting bigger.
Yeah.
But this will increase the number of champions player need to own to qualify for competitive play. Again, makes sense. They are dropping the placement matches from 15 to 10.
Okay.
And that's about it.
I can totally get behind that.
Yeah. So 5 less matches to place, and then you're hopping right in. And like I said, 2 bans instead of 1, which it makes sense because, like I said, 34 champions right now. Holy balls.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm not even 100% sure, like, there's probably somebody in the data mines. Let's see. Recent last one they did was OB63, though. That was a couple ago. So, any leftover character data? Rider mounts a horse? But everybody mounts a horse. Oh. No. Rider was Moji. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it says mounts a horse, which was probably early data to like represent Moji's 2-headed dragon.
I think it's funny because you get on a horse, and then when you jump off a horse, the dragon shows up.
Yeah, exactly.
You start with the dragon?
I mean, alternatively, I guess the alternative would be seeing that giant two-headed dragon trying to sit on the horse
Mm-hmm. Which would
while
be.
Moji is sitting on the dragon. Which, believe me, I actually kind of wanted to see. I wanted to see that nonsense.
I'm not gonna lie. I want to see that.
And then okay, there's been one character, like the previous data mines have. He's just called Vanguard. He has bolt pistols, a shield with an ability that charges. Active shield can be destroyed. It almost sounds like Vivian though. I mean, it wasn't a pistol though. I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out if like anything comes through. Because like I said, this is old data mine, so um, I have not. I have not seen anything. Blah blah, and possible rumors to Paladins coming to Switch. That would be interesting. Because I mean, like I've said before, my piece of crap computer can run Paladins. Okay, so there's no reason a Switch shouldn't, or a Switch should be able to run it, no problem, legitimately. Um, but yeah, I mean, so yeah, I've been diving pretty hard, at least in versus AI,
Mm-hmm.
getting my footing back. Um, before I start like going into classic Siege to find out like the roles and stuff. Like I said, I want to find out because versus AI is great for like finding out certain things about your character. But if you're looking to learn someone like Sky, um, then
Not.
that's going to be harder because the AI has, of course, it's AI, so it has like pathing, and that just might be the dress. Yeah, Keypow. Okay,
Yeah.
or Capo. Fair enough. Um, wait. What was an alternate name for it? Holy crap! Come back here. Or is used for the two-piece Cheong Sam.
That's
There we
what.
go. That
That's.
variant that is popular in China. That's what I was trying to think of. There we go. Thank Jesus for that. That mystery solved. But yeah. That. Crap. But yeah. Learning someone like Sky or even Saris with her Shadow Walk, anyone that becomes invisible, you can't really learn in versus AI. Because as soon as you go invisible, the AI stops attacking you and goes to find another target.
Okay.
So I mean, a human that's playing sees Sky goes invisible right in front of them, they're gonna keep shooting, and you may die. Anyway, AI doesn't do that. So I mean, so there's some differences there, but it's definitely good like to at least learn to get used to what your buttons do and to get used to it. General tactics and strategies and finding out certain sneaky things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I did have a very hilarious match before I started my versus AI string and unlocking all the lore. Um, I had what I thought was going to be one of my worst games back. It was like my second game. I lost the first one. It was classic Siege. Um, but all of a sudden, my team had the funky random paladins team comp.
Oh yeah.
As in, one person locked in damage, the other three people locked in flank.
I was gonna say probably something crazy like damage flank, no healer, no
So
frontliner.
I took it upon myself to pick Genos.
Okay.
That way I can defend myself and be healer, sort of, at least. And I left it up to them who would they basically playing chicken countdown timers. Like, I'm not picking frontline. When are you going to need to change if we want a frontline? Nobody changed.
Meanwhile, you're sitting there like, "Where's Buster? Where's Buster?"
Like, oh god. The other team loads in and they have a full comp.
Ugh.
Frontline, 2 damage, a flank, a
Painful.
support. I thought it was going to be a quick match at least because they captured the first point and walked it straight to the base. But suddenly something happened, and I guess our team clicked or something because they didn't get a single point after that. We came back on them and ran it back for 4 points. And I just started cackling.
Yeah.
I was laughing so hard that because we won. It's like they got the first 2 points and that was it. And it's like, I counted this in my head as a loss from the beginning because it was a weird comp. They had a comp. All right, I'll take it. I'll take this L. No. No, we just pushed it on through and it's like, huh, we did it. How? We have no right to win that. No right.
Gotta love that, right?
Yeah, I know it's hilarious. But yeah, and I cannot wait to really dive back into this. Like I said, just getting my bearing. Like I said, with Talus out and not a new thing anymore, I can really dive into him. He seems to be a pretty good damage replacement too. Like, because I mean, he's one of the few like direct damage flank that has good DPS that isn't required on. Because Androx and Lex before him that had good DPS became semi-auto, so yeah. But yeah, Talus, I'm having a lot of fun with. And Vivian, I just like went through last night, and went back through and seen the most. Because even though the cards themselves are different, Paladin's Guru still does track the most popular and the most winning loadouts.
Yeah.
So you can still get an idea of what to use, at least in general. So I picked out a bunch of like different loadouts and things. Because like I said, they still track it, but at the same time, it's not the new card descriptions that are reworked for the Cards Unbound system, and it's nowhere near the levels. So I mean, then the only reason I can tell that they are even still actively tracking is because everyone's most pop build now are all level 1 cards, which wouldn't be possible except for in this new system.
Yeah.
So I mean, but even then, like, that's actually still not a thing because unless you actually go in and make a build of nothing but level 1 cards, because they do give you, I believe, certain levels on some cards, like in the basic loadouts. Because with OB64, I mean, they still give you loadouts. Actually, they give you more loadouts now than they used to. Because most characters actually have 3 loadouts, whereas before they just had their basic loadout. So, I mean, there are 3 loadouts to really kind of explore a character with if you want. And then there's the old loadouts have not saved. So all the old loadouts are gone, but you still have a crap ton of slots. Yeah.
I just noticed that.
Yeah, there are a crap ton. There's still like pretty much as many loadout slots, and making loadouts is so much easier now. That's such a better system now. I'm so glad they use that. But yeah, like I said, everyone has 3 loadouts. I mean, you get instead of just basic Victor, you have a bunch of different Victor. In fact, the only person that has a basic loadout is Moji.
Yeah.
Basic Moji, but then she has a pint-sized powerhouse and stinky lizard loadouts. But still, basic Moji is a level 20 loadout, and it's all level 4 cards, so I mean, they still give you like loadouts with power, so you can kind of feel how it goes. But yeah, like I said, all in all, I'm digging the Unbound system. I mean, I haven't really played the Unbound system. I'm sticking with Bound, but I'm digging basically what they have changed with it, essentially.
I'm in a match right now, and it's real fun. You think this is a bug? Like the training bug?
I don't know, but it's there. It's there. It's a thing. So I mean, I'm gonna use it to my benefit right now. Because I mean, if you only have a little bit of time, you can log in, do some versus AI, complete some daily quests, and let me tell you what, the daily quests are like super worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking. There's
I mean, you're getting a lot.
There's 4 pages of quests now, dude.
Well, yeah, a lot of that is your daily quests literally update daily now instead of having weekly quests. Um, which obviously daily, but yeah, I mean, every day that I've seen, there has been a quest that will reward you with 5 diamonds.
Wow.
Or 5 crystals, should I say? So I mean, they're finally seem to be hitting a sweet spot to reward you in quests, but also like giving you the premium reward basically for free. So I mean, if this keeps up, then that's what 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Well, obviously, 35 crystals a week that you can earn, which actually I think is way more than what the login bonuses used to give you if you made it to 6 or 7 days.
It was 20, I think.
Yeah. That's you actually can end up with a little more. And of course, quests give you VIP points, and the other 2 quests give you gold. No essence anymore, thank goodness. The first page after that are a bunch of quests to earn you free keys, which work in Radiant chests. And these keys will give you a specific legendary for the, like, there's frontline keys.
Yeah.
And that Radiant chest will drop a legendary for a frontline character. But it doesn't guarantee cards. Like the rest of the cards will still be for like random class or for random champions.
But it's a legendary. It's a guaranteed legendary.
Yeah. The guaranteed legendary will be for that class. And now the Radiant chests themselves have a guaranteed legendary mechanic. Like if you open enough of them, you're going to get guaranteed legendaries. Like after all of my grinding the versus AI and what I had from the transferred essence, I was able to buy what was it? Basically like the most you can actually buy with gold. If I can see that. 20 chests. 20 Radiant chests. And I got like out of the 16 that I didn't use a key on, I had like 4 legendary cards. So it's pretty good. It's a pretty good little haul.
Little decent system, right?
Yeah. I'm liking that because it's definitely way easier to get legendary out of these chests now. Because I mean, that's one thing you used essence on back when was just primarily to get the legendaries you really wanted. But yeah, legendaries are pretty easy. You can buy enchanted keys for your guaranteed legendary. But yeah, so I mean, that and the old booster system is gone in Radiant chests. Because before, a Radiant chest will give you like 3 items and a 4th if you had a booster active. That's gone now. You just get 4 cards.
Wow.
Always. Same thing for card chests. Like if you're opening 4 cards, you're getting 4 items, regardless of boost or not. So that's very good in my opinion.
Also, the AI is really. I think they did AI right in this.
Oh yeah.
Because they're doing like, I got hooked by Makoa and spun the fuck around like you said.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little slow because, like I said, there are moments where it's pathing and like judgment go a little wonky, and then of course you can totally take advantage of that. And there are certain times that it'll start shooting you and then just stop for no reason.
Yeah.
So you can kind of get away with things, but at the same time, it's like I said, once that AI kicks on, my God, it can be brutal. You can get like, if you get like 3 AIs that kick on at the same time, basically, you can get melted. Like, my word. Whew. But yeah, so I mean, all in all, like I said, I think I like this system.
Yeah.
I definitely can't wait to jump back into this game because it's pretty fun. Like, I'm really liking the Unbound system. Like, it literally, because I noticed in the forums, like a lot of people mention, like with the Unbound system, like even in Bound, it's going to make more cards more important than others.
Yeah.
And that's pretty true, but at the same time, that already existed in the Paladins universe. More cards, or certain cards, were smarter picks at certain levels than other cards. So, I mean, yeah, that already existed. It's just a little easier now because you don't have to pick a level. You just pick a card, and like I said, if you're running ranked, see what his level 4 effect is, and there you go. I mean, so picking the most effective card is actually a little easier because you don't have to pick like a throwaway card if you're at the bottom and oh, I have one level left to use it out and put it in place. Let's get this piece of crap card over here. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I like it. I like it. I've had fun so far. So, like I said, eventually I'll hop back into competitive.
Yeah, after I get my feet back.
Yeah, like eventually, like because I do like the system, but I gotta get used to it.
So now in training, I made a loadout. Would I be able to use it, or is it just the preset ones?
Oh no, you can use your loadout. I mean, like I said, training is like no different from a regular match. It's just you have AI instead of people.
Yeah,
That is literally the only difference, and I do like that. Like I said, it does reward you for learning, essentially. I mean, basically, don't get a big head against AI and think you're all that, and then go up against people and
get your shit pushed.
Expect to do good because that's not how it's gonna work. Almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, it's a good learning experience. Like I said, it's a system I completely forgot about, and I wish I had looked at it like before, because there are so many games that I just like at the start of the game it'd be like, well, probably gonna lose this one. I'm gonna check this person out, and then just get absolutely demolished and just kind of stay away from that character forever after that.
Yeah,
because
in your mouth.
Exactly. So I mean, at least in versus AI, you can kind of feel like I haven't used these champions that I've never used again, like any of the snipers. Ugh. But at the same time, I do feel like it's a better environment for that because it's not like totally negative. But at the same time, if you do horribly and maybe lose, that's probably going to be even worse because you're losing against AI.
Yeah.
So yeah, that can really harm. But yeah, like I said, it seems like they're definitely like, it seems like they're moving. They're starting to move into like an actual release. Which, like I said before, they really don't care about the quote unquote release status of their game. They're treating it like they're just treating it like a game. They're deving for it. I mean, like I said, good lord, they're adding battlegrounds. I mean, they're just deving as if it's a live game because to them it is. And yeah, 34 characters already though. Like, sweet Christ, man. That is a little ridiculous because if we compare, because sadly, like a lot of the base story, because they do have a lore cinematic, a lot of the base and basic story, pretty much like the rest of the game, can easily be stated as an Overwatch clone.
Yeah. That's...
Which, like I said, the basic story is an Overwatch story. Like I'll even admit that, because I mean it's a torn land. Like there used to be, they had to deal. Crosswind Hold is the area they're in, and they had to deal with goblins before, so the paladins came up with the goblins and then disbanded. One of the former paladins formed the magistrate to like govern the land into like new heights or whatever, and the magistrate, I think head magistrate Karn is his name, started ruling with a very tyrannical fist, and Varric discovered crystal technology that could basically give magic to common folk through his machinations. Which I don't really like that classification for Barrett because it pretty much just drives him into famous dwarf stereotype.
Yeah,
but
it is.
Oh well. Like I said, stereotype. It's kind of safe. I get it. But I did like his original story, which was he was just like a miner. He had like nothing important about him. He was just a miner. It's like, I like that. He's just a basic dwarf. He's an average dude that's a dwarf.
Yeah, now he's something special.
Now he's something special. But I mean, again, dwarf stereotype. But actually, Torvald also fits in that stereotype because he is another one of the engineers for crystal technology. But either way, Beric discovers crystal technology, like magic became free for like common folk, pretty much. The magistrate does not like this at all, and they start pretty much confiscating crystal technology for themselves because magic should not be freely used by everyone. So, like I said, they start getting super tyrannical. A group of individuals form or reform the Paladins with whatever the Paladin, I forget her name, but the former Paladin leader. And so the fight is against the Magistrate and the new Paladins, which the Magistrate calls the Resistance. And that's the basic story, which, again, it's like Overwatch and Talon is the basic story. So, I mean, it's a very Overwatch story. But where it separates itself is when you start unlocking character bios and you start figuring out who's on what side. Mm-hmm. And the fact that there's a lot of people that doesn't even really have a side. And there's a lot of people that aren't even on the side you would think. So what side do you think Victor's on?
Victor's on the Magistrate.
Yeah. He's like one of their best soldiers. He's working for the bad guys. Yep. Which is like I was talking to Converse. I mean, the way the game like portrays him, kind of.
Yeah, portrays him as a hero.
I figured he'd be very heroic, on the side of the Paladin, but no, he is actually super loyal to Magistrate. It's like, oh, okay.
I also know that Ash was the one who killed the stone. Not, I can't remember his name.
Oh, Terminus.
Terminus, yeah. She was the one who killed him.
Well, I mean,
it's obvious. There's a cannonball in his fucking chest.
Yeah, there's that. I mean, and Ash is Magistrate. Terminus is now Magistrate against his will because they captured him with experimental crystal technology.
That's why
Torvald works for the Magistrate. He's developing crystal technology for the Magistrate. He actually doesn't care about the war. He just wants to get to work in developing his stuff. It's actually other people that saw, because he works for the Magistrate's Deep Works, which Vivian is over.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, there's a bunch of people that are just in here, like Saris, for example. I say this, I did not see, like, the bio fits. I did not see this bio coming. Which, as reads, a being from beyond the void, Saris has taken the name of the city she completely destroyed upon first setting foot in the world of the living. Draining the souls of her enemies and occasionally restoring them to her allies, however, pales in comparison to her unnatural presence, granting her the ability to see into the past and predict the future all at once. She appears here and there in time and space, always at the opportune moment to change the course of events towards some unknown but seemingly inevitable fate. It's like, what?
Yeah. So, she's a being outside of time.
Yeah, she sounds like a demon.
Yeah. I mean, well, if you look at it, you understand why.
Exactly. I mean, but yeah, I mean, she's like a demon. That first line is like, she took the name of the city she completely destroyed upon first setting foot in the world of the living. Is like, oh my God.
Pretty fucking badass. That's pretty fucking tough. That's tight.
There was once a city called Ceres.
Now I am.
It is no more.
I took its name.
Oh my god. So yeah, and it's like Lex. Like he's a Justicar, so I mean he's magistrate. Makes sense. And Droxus used to be his partner until he killed the goddess that earned him the Godslayer, and then became outlaw. So yeah. So there's no actual clue on what side Androxus is on right now. Zin, with the name of the tyrant, actually runs. He basically has his own criminal freaking world. He's an underboss basically. He's a kingpin.
Yeah.
Which Shaolin used to be a part of, but has betrayed them.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That Shaolin being a hero, he does have a hero skin, you know.
And I mean, it's like, but yeah, basically, one thing I'm looking at, I mean, is essentially, if a group of people had wanted to start a Paladins podcast, now would definitely be like a more opportune time to do that, considering there's a few more like I said, finalizations and like story and stuff. So a little more can be like speculated and talked about these characters, like a little more freely without having to like deep dive into like all the character interactions. And because I mean, people knew that Victor and either Leanne or Vivian, no, it was Leanne, that Victor and Leanne had some kind of history, and they are on the same side. So, but Leanne is actually honor bound by her house to fight for the magistrate. Inara is honor bound as a, what are they called? Sagala. Because they were actually, what was it? Yeah, they were created to help repel the goblins, so they were with the paladins.
Okay.
And then like Bomb King, he's just in there. He doesn't care. He's a bomb that was brought sentience by a wizard to help defend a castle, and now he thinks he's the everything. Makes sense.
Does make sense.
Because if you listen to Bomb King, yeah.
So what you're telling me, Des, is the short-lived but awesome Paladin Palace podcast might be coming back?
I mean, like I said, now would be the time.
I mean, we could do that. I'll do 3 podcasts a week.
Yeah, like I said, now would be like the most opportune time, because with cards, I mean, there's no telling if the system will change again. There's legitimately no telling. It's happened 3 times, I think, pretty much in total in this game's development cycle so far. I mean, there could be a 4th, and it could invalidate everything we've ever said. There could not. Like, this could be the system that carries them all the way to release. Or not. I mean, it's hard to tell, because Hi-Rez is a weird studio to a degree, because again, the game, there was a shooter that kind of played like a MOBA, and then they changed it completely, and like changed the card system, and then they re-changed the card system. Actually, no, this might be the 4th time, because I think they changed the card system twice after getting rid of the MOBA size maps.
Yeah, I think this is 4.
Yeah. Because the 3rd time they changed the card system is the card system that they just changed it from, with the loadouts and everything. Yeah. So yeah, this is number 4. Yeah, there's no telling if they could change a 5th time then, because like I said, it's actually changed 4 times pretty drastically in this dev cycle. But I don't know. I feel every step so far has been like a really proper step in a pretty good direction. Again, they can't be doing anything wrong, because they still have a professional scene that is still going strong.
Oh my god.
Paladin, I don't want to say the Paladins League because of the Overwatch League, but I mean, they do have an esports section. They have the pretty hair. Part of their payroll is their esports coordinator. So yeah, for Paladin. So I mean, yeah, he's on payroll to be like an esports announcer. And let me tell you what, like, I did not realize how good of a job he did until I was listening to him commentate the battleground stuff.
Oh, they're really good. Like
He's a super good
yeah,
commentator, man. Like, holy crap.
their commentary team is really good.
It's like I dig that. Like, I'm definitely gonna have to like tune more into like actual like Paladins esports stuff because, like I said, I really dig their commentators. But
Yeah.
let me see.
They have a pro that mains Torvald, and every time I watched him play it, I'm like, God, you are so much better than me.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was watching, I think it was Thiel, which
Mm-hmm.
was a name that I remember seeing a lot of times on Paladins Gurus because Paladins Gurus takes like 4 professional players and puts their builds in for that character. And Thiel was the name I saw there a lot, and all of a sudden it's like I was rolling through Twitch looking through Paladins, it's like Thiel, he's streaming. Holy crap!
Mm,
So yeah, I was able to like listen to him and see him absolutely beast with Fernando. I mean, like trying to make sure he gets Fernando in competitive matches, and I'm sitting there going, Fernando, really,
and, then,
really?
and then you see why, and you're like, oh,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
And
totally.
it's like seeing him play, and it's like, oh
Yep.
my god, okay, all right, fair, fair.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. That's pretty much the moment I started believing in Fernando a little more.
I mean, I think the
Because
first time we talked about it, and I said, "Oh man, I like Fernando." You were like,
and it's like,
"Figures." You said figures, sir. Yeah,
I did.
you said figures. I'm like, God damn.
But yeah, so
First cuts the deepest, sir.
well, like I said, I mean, then his story is a little very awkward.
Yeah, he's a self-stout. He's not even a real knight, is he?
Um, See, though not of noble birth, nor having any real combat training, Fernando assumed the mantle of knighthood when the knight he served met an untimely fate. The first sentence. So,
So he's a squire that picked up the sword.
yeah, he was a knight squire, and he's like, you know what? Screw it, I'm a knight now.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually, I think there's a few medieval tales that kind of mimic that. And in fact, there was a Heath Ledger movie that, even though heavy
A
on the
Knight's
side of
Tale.
comedy, mimics that.
I
So I
love
mean,
that movie.
it's hilarious.
The the guy who plays Geoffrey Chaucer might be my favorite. Brittany.
Yeah, that's
Right.
yeah,
That's
Paul Bettany. Yeah,
Paul Bet.
the
I'm
voice of Jarvis, and
I'm
now plays.
trudging to trudge. And they snuck it. That's the movie that they snuck in Queen music, right? They did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because everyone started stomping, and all of a sudden it
Clapping.
became like the rhythm, and it's like, really, which is sad because that's kind of like a pet peeve of mine. Like if you're gonna do medieval, like era or period stuff, I don't like mixing in like modern sounding music with that era of stuff. It's kind of a pet peeve of mine. I could have enjoyed it so much better if that wasn't a peeve of mine. But but yeah, like I mean, there. I don't even know where I was going with the whole esports scene. And oh yeah, no, there was a thing I noticed on Twitter. Paladins is actually doing a high school league where like high schoolers can basically compete on like a professional level, sort of.
Really?
But yeah, they're gonna invite like of course like a sign up type deal. But I mean, um, it's on the Paladins Twitter. But yeah, they're gonna start a high school league where high school they will perform like at least not, maybe not on a professional level, but at least in a professional setting, the same as the pros, and they will be like pretty much fighting for like college scholarships and crap, which is really really cool.
Nice, dude.
Exactly, like that's really cool. So I mean, yeah, they like high res as a studio. It can be kind of sketchy because I mean, again, they have some controversies, like some real controversies attached to them. Like people think Destiny and Bungie has controversies. Hi-Rez had some legitimate controversies. I mean, pretty much going like one reason the game like it had come out or like the rumors were starting to come out. Like one reason the game was changing so much, like in the card system back when it was changing, going from like MOBA to more like hero shooter style. Um, like basically a lot of the stories that were trying to be painted was the fact like the CEO was like into fads and stuff, so he would like literally be telling the dev team to change things depending on what was the like recent fad. So every week it was like a new thing they had to like introduce or whatever. Which, come to find out, the stories were apparently exaggerated, and of course they were, because they did come from former employees. But chances are they were disgruntled former employees, and disgruntled former employees, they tend to exaggerate. If you didn't like the environment you worked in, you're going to exaggerate on how bad it was. Legitimately.
Yeah.
It's the thing pretty much everyone does. It's just the thing. But so yeah. So what people thought was true. I mean, because like I said, the game was fluctuating very heavily at that point in time, and who knows, could be true, but could not also, because CEO is a little eccentric. I will say that, because he was the other guy that was commentating with Pretty Hair during the if you catch their Battlegrounds playthroughs on their YouTube. That was actually their CEO next to Pretty Hair.
Was it really?
Yeah, that was their CEO.
Crap.
Yeah, he's eccentric for sure. Like you can definitely get that from him, but yeah, he's it's so yeah. Either way, like they were involved with some controversy, and of course they will never be able to get out of the shadow of being at face value judged as an Overwatch clone.
Well, I mean that's the same.
It's never gonna go away.
That's the same thing with Fortnite. Everybody says Fortnite's a PUBG clone. I'm like, it also has 400 million downloads.
Like, yeah, I find it like I mentioned in our Discord, I love this effect.
Yeah.
Because this effect makes no sense. Because the games that are becoming known for things to rip off from, like PUBG, Fortnite comes out, oh my god, they're ripping off PUBG. Overwatch came out, oh, Paladins, any hero shooter is ripping off of Paladins and is a Paladins clone. Hilariously, they're not even the first in their series to do this. Maybe some of the best and some of the most refined, but certainly not the first. Because before PUBG, there was H1Z1 that introduced the Battle Royale mode. Mm-hmm. Because that's how people were playing these survival games like DayZ. They were just playing them essentially as Battle Royale modes. It became a thing that people would have to restart new characters, rush into a Cindy wherever you're spawning, try and get as much loot as you can to defend against other people. Is how the zombie survival simulators ended up being played, because people were hunting people and collecting loot. And so, like I said, that's kind of how these games evolved. And then PUBG it was the first game, I think, that came out with that first in mind. I think. So they were able to, right, they were able to streamline it a little better. But still, like I said, even with Overwatch, Team Fortress had two. They were on their second game. They were on their sequel game, and they were the class-based shooter first, before Overwatch suddenly became known as hero shooters. So yeah, it's hilarious to me, because it's kind of the same effect with Doom. Because, it's not really the same effect, because no one really calls anything a Doom clone or a Doom ripoff.
Yeah.
But people remember Doom as like the first really hitting first-person shooter. But Doom wasn't the first. Wolfenstein came just before Doom. So.
And apparently there's another game called Heretic.
I don't know. I don't go that deep. Like I know a lot, but
yeah,
there's certain places I stop and it's like, okay.
All right. This is a rabbit hole I cannot go down.
Like last time I followed a rabbit hole legitimately, I started looking into the actual thermonuclear reaction of the sun and how it worked. Mm. I tried to apparently read like a physics book apparently, and had a headache for the rest of the day while I was at work. Yeah. Because trying to understand that crap was way over my head. And it's like, you know what? I need to learn when to stop.
Yeah, I guess you should, but it's part of what makes you.
Yeah, I'm always going to dive, but Like I said, I had to learn. I had to learn at that point in time to sometimes to say no. So hang on, let me see if I can get a count here because there's no. At least I don't think. Character over. Let's see. Overwatch originally featured 12 characters, expanded to 21 by the next year's convention, but is it still at 21? Let's see, there are 8 defense heroes. Um, like math in my head, it doesn't work. Let the old man get out his calculator for this very simple thing that I'm probably going to get judged. Which I don't care. Give me my calculator. So yeah, there are 8 of those heroes. There are 6 defense heroes. There are 6 tank heroes and 6 support heroes. Seriously?
Damn.
26.
Wow.
I thought there was more. Like I could have sworn there was like more, a few more. I do know there's apparently a hero starting to be teased that is coming out, so there's that. But yeah, I could have sworn there were more. They have more offense. Well, yeah, that makes sense. They've always kind of been offense heavy.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, someone's probably going to correct me there, and rightfully so, because again, I don't 100% keep up with Overwatch. I know it is a pretty fun game to watch. I'll give it that. Like being a little more faster paced in certain areas, like it's definitely fun to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that, but also at the same time, I have not been watching Overwatch League, so.
I watched our buddy Mulder play a little bit. I mean, it just, I generally find that it's one of those things like if you like Paladins, you don't like Overwatch, and if you like Overwatch, you don't like Paladins.
Yeah, I'm always those molds.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, because again, like usually as a kid, it's like, oh, you're either a Super Nintendo kid or you're a Sega kid.
I had both.
I mean, I didn't have both, but I was the kid with the Nintendo. My neighbors were kids with the Sega. We basically just chose where to hang out certain days.
Yeah.
And play games.
Yeah, let's play Zelda. Oh, let's play this. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, so sure I was a Nintendo kid, but that's just because I chose that, and then I had neighbors that had a Sega, and I mean, it's not like, oh, I'm not gonna play that. That's awful, man. Let's go play my game. No, screw that. It's like they had different games. Like you're with Mario, and the blue hedgehog's like, what's this?
Yeah, what is this? Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I've been that way because it's like there's another stereotype. If you like JRPGs, you don't like Western RPGs.
Or shit.
I mean, I like JRPG. It's not that I don't like Western RPGs. Let me set this clear. I don't play a lot of Western RPGs. That's true. Like, just because I don't play Elder Scrolls doesn't mean I'm not a fan of Elder Scrolls. I like the story, but it's dangerous if I get into those games.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm going to spend way too much time in those games. Like I've told my Morrowind story, and that's where it stops. Like I said, it doesn't mean I don't like it. It means I have to stay away from it. Oh yeah, it says actually at the top of the article, features 26 playable characters. Fair enough.
It's like, hi, I'm Dez. I didn't read.
Yeah, no, I skipped right over that. Yeah, just leave it to me to do things the hard way. But that, and I do love the story of Overwatch. Like, don't get me, like, I followed Blizzard for a very long time now. Sometimes I don't want to say how long, because it's a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 1994 when Warcraft came out.
I want to say yeah. That's
I mean, and now I actually, whenever I look up Warcraft, like the movie and the MMO comes up first, which let me tell you, it's still like one of the best video game movies ever made.
Yeah, it was actually.
Oh my God.
I would say one of the best video game movies that ever came out.
Okay, there it is. It was released, yeah, 94. Holy crap, November. Jesus. Actually nailed that one on the head. So yeah, I mean, and that was the game that got me into Blizzard Entertainment as a
Mm-hmm.
kid because it was so well done. And then Warcraft 2 came out and it's like, oh wow, this is even better. And then I started finding out about StarCraft and Diablo and like, wow, everything they do is great. Like this is really cool.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, when I heard about Overwatch, I even hearing it was like, oh, it's not gonna have a story mode. It's like, this is a Blizzard product. Are you sure it's not gonna have a story mode? Might as well have a story mode with as many like cinematics and crap that they come out about it, and like lore and backstory and crap
Yeah,
that they set up.
they have movies. Like,
I mean, yeah. So I mean, it's like the crap. I mean, they might as well have just had like a campaign mode. Legitimately, might as well have with as much story as they already have about it. Because Blizzard, I don't think can make a game without at least backstory. Like half of the instruction manual for the first Warcraft was backstory
yeah,
to the war between orcs and humans. And it's like,
when the dark portal opened up.
yeah, yeah, exactly. You find out like exactly when Dark Portal opens up, exactly what happens. The wizard, you find that's how you really learn about the Wizard Medivh, and so yeah, so half of their Warcraft instruction manual was backstory,
Mm-hmm.
and this was PC back in the day when instruction manuals were many was about the size of a comic book essentially.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I mean, yeah, like from that, it's like even Diablo had like this massive backstory about because even though the game is about Diablo, you learn about the other demons of hell that are like Diablo's level or maybe higher.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, lower because
Lower.
Diablo was major. He was one of the three major ones. But again, all that story came from the instruction manual of Diablo. It's like I don't think Blizzard can make a game without backstory. I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, but that's kind of Blizzard's thing, right?
Exactly. I mean, it's something that hasn't, like I said, in the past, what, 24 years now? This is 2018? Yeah,
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 yeah.
24 freaking years. Jesus Christ. See, this is why I don't like mentioning. But yeah, I mean, it hasn't not happened yet, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, I mean, sure, their dev time like got awful long, but again, that could be one reason why. But yeah, that and I do need to pick up. Speaking of dev times, Blizzard, the book by Jason Schreier of Kotaku fame, the Oracle of video games, as it were, because his book Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, which not only covers the development issues of the original Destiny, but also Diablo 3, which definitely had development issues.
Yeah, I mean, I've also that's one of the other games that's in my list of things to grab because I refuse to do like what I did in Destiny 1 and just not play any game.
Part of me wants to do Diablo 3, but at the same time, that's another one that can potentially like the end game for Diablo, because there's like two ways to play Diablo. There's playing through the story and finding out what happens,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's actually playing the game and hitting the grind to do like these instant dungeons that are like super hard and crap. And now they have seasons in Diablo 3 that gets you like these special cosmetic items. Like if you do well in the seasons and do everything there, and it's like, holy crap. It's like there's a lot to that game now. Like diving in Diablo might be. I mean, I say that, but here I am diving into an MMO.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be fair, DCU is a light MMO because their in-game content only goes up to 8 players. So it is fairly on the light end, but I mean, it's not quite fully fledged. But it's still it's. I feel I can manage DCU and Destiny with the side of Paladins. I feel like I can manage this. I mean, it pretty much screws over Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah, but that's always there.
Yeah, that's always there. And it's an offline experience. Like I've tried to log in. I think yesterday it was, yeah, Friday or something when I got home,
Mm-hmm.
and I found out PSN was down.
Oh my god, I
So
that was the one thing. Like I had the ultimate like I got up early, and then I got home, and the
yeah,
missus was sleeping, and I was like, well, I could go back to sleep, and then I was like, And then I heard the siren call of my PlayStation. It was like, "Come on, Buster, you know you want to play." I'm like, "I do want to play, I do." So I hop on and like, first thing I go to is Warframe, surprise, and it's like, nope. And I'm like, "What do you mean, nope?
Yep.
I can't, I can't do this. Like, I can't. Nope. I don't have a. I lost my mind, dude. And then I was like, oh, PlayStation's down. Oh god. Okay. Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah. So there was that would have hit, but at the same time, I only had to wait like because I watched a couple of YouTube videos of like 30 or so minutes, and I was like, oh, I see I logged in. Yep, time to hit the video games. And that's when I started because I do my DCU dailies, and I just hit Paladins. It's like I put off like the build I was looking for is here. I'm diving back in. Like I said, things are different, but I'm getting there. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Once I saw you, I was like, man, Des is on Paladins for some reason, and I was like, why is he on Paladins? Oh, and then you were like, hey, it's hey, the Cards Unbound came out, and I was like, oh, yeah. Cards Unbound came out. Mm-hmm, that's why.
Yeah, Cards Unbound hit. Like I said, the lore hit, and I just decided to go ahead and like power through all of that with the versus AI thing. Because like if a quest comes up, like that's Onslaught or TDM or requires wins or whatever, I'm doing it versus AI just to guarantee to get it done. And even because there's one quest now that's like collect this many VIP points. VIP points you get for a loss are pitiful. You get like 5, and the quest was like accrue 400.
Oh yeah.
And it's like this is gonna take forever. But like I said, I found that and like finished the rest of it in 3 matches. So it's like that's better. But yeah, so there's that. It's like I said, now there's actually a reason to log on to Paladins daily now. Mm-hmm. I mean, because before it was weekly. And actually, also hilariously, as I now understand, you get a bonus. Like, you can increase how much the quests give you by logging in daily.
Really?
Yeah. If after logging in 7 days, you increase how much the quests give you by 25%. By logging in 14 days, it's a 50% increase. And by logging in 21 days, it's a 7% increase. Wow. Because the daily logins aren't, they don't have to be in a row anymore. It's kind of a little more like Warframe in that matter.
Really? It just has to be within a certain amount of time?
Well, I mean, good Lord, I still had, because I launched when the OB just before 65, the hit for console, which was 63. Because again, they skipped OB 64 on console. But
well played.
Yeah, bravo. Because like I said, it did get rid of some issues, and like I said, it let things settle. They settled things basically in the PC side and got people, I guess, a little more happy with it. Mm-hmm. And then they released 65, which is better. It's a more polished build, like to introduce to people. So yeah, completely understandable. But yeah, I had like 4 or 5 logins. Also, the daily quest system wasn't working in OP63, which is another reason I wasn't playing a lot, because there wasn't any quests at all to do on console. Because of that like little bug in 63, which got fixed in 64, which is another reason I was kind of waiting on 64 and then wondering if it was going to drop. But like I said, now that's fixed in 65 for consoles, so it's fixed for everyone. But I had like 4 or 5 days, I think, or maybe 6 days logged in. And then a month later, I still have those daily logins. So it's not really time restrained anymore. And like I said, you log in for the first 7 days, you go up to, I think it's mainly gold rewards for the daily login still. And then the 7th day, I think, is crystals and a radiant chest. Ooh. And then you start back over. building up gold. But like I said, it doesn't have to be in a row anymore, which is very, very nice. And like I said, once you complete a 7-day login, you get an increase to the quest system. So it's like, I like these systems. I mean, they keep you a little more engaged than the weekly did, and you don't absolutely have to log in every day to get your bonus.
Yeah.
So it's good changes. Like if you can't make it, tool's still forgiving. But if you can, then you get a few bonuses a little faster. So I mean,
which is always cool, right?
Oh yeah, it's still rewarding for your concurrents. So I mean, that's always a nice thing to make them rewarding, but at the same time not absolutely necessary. Which is a thing Destiny's learning as well. Mm-hmm. Make things rewarding. Like I said, we already feel like not 100% obligated to play Destiny like we did Destiny 1, which I know a lot of people don't like, but I'm okay with that. But at the same time, they're still working on like when things. I would probably play a little more in D2 right now if things did feel like a little more rewarding and a few more like Masterwork Armors. I'll probably hop in after the 30th, 8-hit Iron Banner and be try to get an early start in these Masterwork Armors because it's a new thing to chase and it's a new thing to figure out and to look into. And then depending on where we go from there, I mean, because Bungie is making strides and, you know, they're doing the thing. So we did have an interesting topic, an article that was literally in our topics, pretty much saying that, a warning, the title is from Forbes, from Paul Tassi. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's literally like a warning about the notion that Destiny 2 will drag down Activision in 2018, which is apparently a thought line that is going out a lot because of the community outrage at Bungie. Let me tell you this, regardless of how people feel about the feedback of Destiny 2 or the state of the community for Destiny 2, Destiny 2 has already hit. Apparently numbers have already, you know, people have seen, like I've heard there was a post on one of the Destiny Reddits, because apparently there's now a low sodium or a low salt Destiny Reddit.
Yes.
That I heard about, and there was a post there that somebody actually went through the numbers of like that are available at Destiny Tracker, like the login numbers basically.
And the results will surprise you.
Yeah, the results hit, and it's like some of the, even though this is like the lowest numbers that D2 has hit as of right now, like these lowest numbers are actually still higher than D1 a year ago when they were introducing Age of Triumph, which was kind of a high point for D1.
Oh yeah, it definitely was.
But again, like I said, the lowest for D2 is still higher than one of the high points for D1. I mean, it was still kind of low because I think they were just loading some of the Age of Triumph stuff. And this kind of started, I think this time last year was kind of the start of the downhill. Actually, no, I think Age of Triumph was pretty much in force at this point in time. They're starting to tease, like, I think this was basically the start of the downhill for D1, like, for good because of the D2. Because, I mean, it wasn't but, like, spring that the D2 reveal event happened. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's... So, yeah. Give or take, but, I mean... And it's like I've told Converse, because we did play a bit of a comp to, like, start unlocking the freaking Crucible head ornament.
Yeah.
Because he didn't realize at first that it was comp wins. He just thought it was Crucible wins.
No.
So I had to break that news to him, and yeah, he definitely sounds like, oh.
I'm sure he was
really? Yeah. But no, I mean, we hit comp. It was actually pretty fun. It was actually really fun. We ended up winning more matches than we lost. I think I now have like 5 or 6 wins on that ornament. We didn't play many matches, that's for sure. But like I said, we won more than we. I think we lost 2 matches. But it was fun. Um, but it's hilarious because for this to be such a low point and for streamers and like for the Twitch attention for D2 to be almost floundering and supposedly being replaced by D1 again, like legitimately, I remember the low points of D1, and I remember waiting 5 minute times to wait for a match to queue up in those low points.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet. Like, for this to be the lowest point of D2, I have not seen absurdly long matchmaking times for Crucible. And it's like it's like I told Converse, it either means one of two things. One, either the population drop is not as severe as everyone's making it out to be, or B, she really has much better matchmaking now. And those are the two possibilities. So either there aren't that many people leaving, or Bungie's able to hide it a little better because their matchmaking is that much better.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the two options, and either one is viable. So I don't know, but either way, I just think it's funny that there is none of that absurdly long wait times for queuing into even comp, getting quick competitive matches. It's like, really? But of course, then again, it was also during Prime Trials time. And it was Prime Trials time. I just realized that. We should have been waiting at least some kind of absurd amount of time for competitive matches. I just forget. Holy crap. But yeah, there was none of that wait. And it's funny to me how things can be blown out of proportion from perception to reality.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's one reason I tell people it's like, because there are like some people, like before this 12, there were some people that's like, Bungie's communication can still be better, but at the same time, I don't know, it's like I've said, I'm a little easier when it comes to words because I guess I come from the generation that talk is cheap.
Yeah.
So show me.
Let's talk more rock.
Exactly. So I mean, it definitely comes more to the fact it's like, yeah, they can skimp on some communication with me, and I'll let them slide with it, as long as the results are still the same. Because even Deej actually had the question that I've had in my mind that I basically wanted to ask people, but I didn't think it'd be a douchebag move to really ask this or not. And then Deej asked it on Twitter or the subreddit or something. It was a question that somebody had collected, and Deej actually asked somebody, it's like, would you rather us communicate with you at the risk of slowing down development?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one reason I let a Slack communication slide. Because if they focus too much on communication, there is the possibility it's taking away from someone's dev time. So yes, let us have, I mean, this last 12 was great. And like I said, as long as this communication doesn't interfere with anything and we get things in a timely manner, I'm good with it. I'm good with a little less than this, as long as the results are there. So that's me. I mean, and I've been called crazy by a few people. So
I mean, I openly admit that I'm crazy. So I mean,
yeah. So I mean, there's that. But like I said, I can understand like people's irk and ire with, oh, we're going to communicate better, and then things slipping through the cracks and stuff. I can understand that. Like I said, I'm more results oriented because that's also how I work. I try, like, not a sycophant. Mm-hmm. I don't kiss up to bosses. My version of kissing up is putting everything I have into my job. I let my work ethic speak for me. I let my results show. Because again, I can sit there and I can tell my boss, yeah, I'm going to try and do this better. And I can tell him that until I'm blue in the face. But if the results don't come through, it means nothing. Yep. But yeah, so.
I'm results oriented.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's where that comes from.
We do have a question. I mean, this is a perfect way to end the episode. By the way, we're back, baby. From one of our patrons, Fred Bob Bazooka, topic. Games with tailing revenue are a fact of life. Yeah. If a publisher can continue to sell things to gamers after launch, the publisher will likely to continue to fund the game, continue development, and find new ways for us to enjoy a game. Given the recent pushback against microtransactions in games and opposition RNG in purchases, thank you for putting in purchases, can you think of novel ways to generate revenue on existing games? What would you pay for in Destiny that you would feel like you were getting your money's worth, and something that's realistic? A new expansion every 2 months would be awesome. However, it isn't realistic. That's 100% true. It isn't realistic.
No. I mean, good Lord, there's, like I said, I mean, wow, they get expansions once a year. I mean, sure, there's like seasonal content and things like being added, but yeah, then it's like actually, no, I think it's until a certain level. Because I mean, here's the thing. I mean, microtransactions are so successful that I'm not even going to list big games that like go to free to play, mod, because the revenue can still support it. Mm-hmm. I'm going to list games that have used microtransactions for longer and have given developers and studios the type of size that they, in all reality, don't even deserve. And that's mobile games.
The white whale.
I mean, look at Angry Birds. Look at Rovio, their studio. They legitimately... You can pay for... I think you can pay for an ad-free, either that or like an HD version maybe, or something. There was a version of Angry Birds you could pay for. But most of Angry Birds stuff is free. Mm-hmm. They're putting out dev time. I mean, mobile games are able to put out dev time with literally no upfront cost and become profitable.
Hugely profitable.
I mean, to the effect of like years ago, let's say, actually, we'll have to say like 15 years ago, would you have believed that there would be a movie about a mobile game? A game that you could play on your cell phone?
Nope.
I would have laughed at you.
Yeah.
Because I would probably be thinking about Snake at that point in time. Oh, God. Show my age again. Anyway.
Brick Break would be what I was thinking of.
So, I mean, to 15 years later, and like Angry Birds had a movie. Angry Birds has a franchise of games. And again, so many mobile games that have absolutely no upfront cost. I've downloaded a lot of them. There's a few Final Fantasy ones. Brave Exvius is great. No upfront cost. Tons of microtransactions. Mm-hmm. Pay to win? Some of them? Sure. But I mean, it's kind of like a card game. And card games, in their essence, are pay to win. I mean...
Oh, Hearthstone?
Well, I mean, no, just card games in general. Like physical card games.
Oh, yeah.
Pay to win.
Yeah, it's pay to win.
Like, the more money you have in your pocket, or if you can hustle someone out of a card, you're going to be better because this card could be like the entire key to like a strategy. So, I mean, people don't look at it that way because it's the nature of card games. You buy packs, you get those cards. But it's legitimately a pay-to-win thing because the more money you have, the more cards you can buy, the more cards you can buy, the more decks you can make, the more decks you can make, the more strategies you can have, so on and so forth and so forth and so forth. So, I mean, even Pokemon, the TCG, it's pay to win. It is. Like, just flat fact. Like, I'm not judging it because I used to play card games. They're really, really fun.
Shit, Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, I mean, God, Magic, so complicated. And the Yu-Gi-Oh's like trying to become a lawyer with so many like rules and sub-rules and rulings and
But I mean, it works.
And Pokemon. Right? Yeah, I know, right? Like, it's great, like, to pull off crap and, but, yeah, so, I mean, like I said, a lot of people don't think of it that way just because it's the nature, but, either way, that's how successful microtransactions are. And that's why they're starting to seep into console gameplay now. Because these mobile games can make essentially mobile AAA studios
Wildly profitable.
that are hugely profitable,
Mm-hmm.
like Rovio. Some, they're not even. I know they're not, United States based. I know they're not. They're from another country. I can't remember, but yeah, and not saying there's anything wrong with that or anything. It's just, like I said, it's a hugely profitable studio that essentially for Android and iOS, Rovio is like a AAA studio right now in that scale.
Yeah.
So of course AAA studios are going to see that and go, we need that. So I mean, yeah, microtransactions aren't going to go anywhere. Um, as far as to say like what's worth that money, you're talking about digital content, the content that actually technically doesn't exist. So how do you really judge the worth of something that technically doesn't exist? Like, sorry to get all deep and existential right now, but technically no content is actually worth it. But at the same time, how much enjoyment do you get out of it? I mean, I still hold to the fact that as long as microtransactions, at least for shooters, looter shooters, RPGs, things like that, as long as the transactions are cosmetic at base, I'm okay with them. I mean, people paid five, $6 or $10 to have Snoop Dogg as a voice pack for Call of Duty. Worth it to me? No. But apparently a lot of people got a lot of enjoyment out of it. So props to them.
I mean, I'm not saying I don't have pretty hair as my commentator for. I'm not saying I don't. Okay. I'm also not saying I do, but I do.
So I mean, that's like the things that run through my head when you start talking about worth in digital content, because I don't know, I just have weird ways of thinking about things. But yeah, digital content technically doesn't exist. The only way it exists is in your enjoyment. And that's like the only impact it really has on the world. So, I mean, it comes down to really whatever you're happy with. And like I said, for me, as long as it's cosmetic crap, like, Paladins, I could dish out a ton of money for skins. I want to dish out a ton of money for some of these skins. Oh my God. Like, if I had my old job still, I would have spent a lot more money into Paladins. Like, just trying to get Madame Saris. I probably would have dropped like $100 in crystals. Like, seeing that and then finding out like Saris is probably the most viable option I support right now. It's like, yeah, I probably might. I might have.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah. But I mean, again, like, also most importantly, when it comes to content, games, anything, don't go outside of your means. Like, literally anything in your life, moderation. Like I said, thankfully I do have a paying job, so that's like a huge moderation on me. Um, but yeah, because I used to work with a guy that, even though he paid well as a welder, um, it took him like 3 years to get a replacement car because he kept buying Michael Jordan shoes.
Oh yeah.
For hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And it's like, he legitimately got scammed by a guy because he asked a dude if he would carry him to and from work, and the guy really didn't want to. So he's like, yeah, I'll do it for $100 a week. He agreed to it. He was dishing out way more money than he ever should have. Probably knew it. But it still took him like 2.5, 3 years to get a replacement car. He wanted his Jordans that he would never wear, throw into a closet, and would just show you like a picture of it just to brag about it. It's like, that makes no sense, man.
Tons of guys do that.
I know, and it doesn't even just apply to video games, like, but I've known these type of people, and it's like, that makes no sense to me. Like, you need a car. Like, I might spend flourishly sometimes, like, if my means allow it. But necessities come first, man.
Yeah, I'll ball out if I can, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. I'm not gonna lie.
But I mean, like I said, I've learned that lesson against Destiny because no, I don't like RNG when it comes to buying things. Well, I do say that I kind of have that too. But again, it's like purely cosmetic. But yeah, it is. I don't really like it. But I don't know. You put a tasty enough carrot at the end of that stick.
I'm a carrot.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump for it.
You're talking. Listen, what does it to me? I'm sorry. What does it to me so well, like
Mhm.
a game that does microtransactions so well, is Warframe. Warframe does it so well because it's like, oh, you log in every day, and then all of a sudden you get a 70% discount.
Yeah,
I have,
which I mean,
you know, I have
yeah,
100. I have 100 plats just sitting. Oh, this Warframe or this 110 plat. I gotta
yeah,
buy 10 stack. Oh, they don't come in 10 stacks. All right, I'll spend $9, $10. You
yeah.
know, and it's a cycle.
It is, it is, and like I said, I've talking down about Warframe and their mechanic and such, but it's another one of those games.
Mm-hmm.
They came out with like nothing down, like it's been free to play. Yeah, sure, they had founders packs and things like that to kind of kickstart the revenue, but still, it's free to play at base. It always has been, but has always been able to grow. Like the content has always grown on it.
Yeah.
And regardless of what, I feel about, it's like pricing mechanics or anything like that, yes, I will agree that it is a really good buying method. Because again, like not taking pricing or the content into play, but at the very least, what you look at in Warframe, you can buy it.
Everything.
You can buy it direct. Like I said, there's certain things I don't think you should be able to, but again, that's beyond the point. But the fact is, whatever you see, you can get directly. There is a direct line to that. If you don't want to grind it, here's this direct line to pay for it. You can get it this much easier. I give them props for that. Like everything's up for them. Like to be run by microtransactions and not to be, and right now to be one of the few games that don't have a loot box and still be playable is kind of amazing.
Yeah, you're right.
So, I mean, I will give them props for that, which I know, I know I may have slightly unfairly bashed Warframe every now and again. Like I said, I didn't tend to get way about opinions and stuff. I mean, like I said, there's certain parts of Warframe I don't agree with, but it will never. I will always have like a certain respect for them because finding out that they've been trying to make Warframe for a long time, actually, and like certain things and mechanics that came up with, like and with Warframe visuals turned into another game, so they decided to do Warframe on their own, and massive props for them to be able to put out like their baby that they've been trying to work on and put out for a very long time and actually successfully put it out on their own with no publishers to chain them down.
Yeah.
And that's props. Definitely. So I'll always have like at least a baseline respect for that development studio for that. They had a dream. They took a risk and practically probably put everything on the line just to have him do a thing without a publisher. Because that's the thing. Because the studio, I can't even remember the name of the studio, but
Digital Extremes.
There we go. Digital Extremes has always worked. They have been a studio that up until Warframe, they have worked with other studios to make games. In part, famously, they've helped work on Unreal Tournament, like multiplayer and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why the movement's so.
Yeah, it's like really fluid and like crazy because I mean they worked with Epic Games to do Unreal, but that's been like their role mainly in video games. Is like not even like the main dev studio to work on things. They've worked on like parts up until like whatever the Warframe prototype was, and that was like one of their first shots at like development under a publisher.
Yeah.
And then they really wanted to put this Warframe aesthetic and everything out there. So they said, screw a publisher. We're going to release this, which is ballsy. And like literally they were putting everything on the line. So like I said, regardless of whether I agree with their pricing or their content available for Bang, they made it work. So props for sure. But
Also, they're super open with the fan base. Like they do streams, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
not the first time I've heard that, but also the same time to have such a loose system, you would kind of have to be,
Yeah.
even if they didn't start that way. You would kind of have to be just to chill the community from any kind of like, thing.
Craziness.
Yeah. So I mean, there's that. I mean, because I mean, I have seen examples of like what people would consider proper communication, and to expect everyone to follow that is a little
Ridiculous.
unreasonable. Yeah, I'll say, because I mean, again, the biggest examples that they give is like Digital Extremes with Warframe and like two or three others. They give like really good, dev talks and such. I think Division has come up, and Division didn't start that way.
See, Division is like Warframe for you.
Yeah.
I just can't.
I'll definitely understand that, but I mean, at the same time, if you could, you really should give it a shot again, because I mean, it's way different. But yeah, so I mean, it's something that they had to learn to do, was to be so open, in the midst of so much controversy. But Division is starting to get a second win now. Warframe is getting however many wins they've had, because holy crap, but they're still growing, and they're seeing a recent boom in popularity right now. And Division starting to get attention again, which they're deserving, because good Lord knows they like Bungie have spent a fair share of time in the mud trying to pull out from their mistakes.
Yeah.
And it's worked. It's in a better place. But by God, like I said, they're getting some deserved attention again, which hopefully will give them like access to be able to like announce some kind of like major content. Because I mean, this is a game that came out and was supposed to be had so many issues, and there's still no, after the last expansion, there's still no news to even new expansions. Like, the future of Division is actually still kind of up in the air, because there's no announcement for more expansions for the base game, and there's no announcements for a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of up in the air. It is amazing that Ubisoft has at least let them stay there and kept it going for this long, even still, like to basically try and repair it. But I mean, like I said, I'm hoping that this attention will at least give them a nudge to be able to announce more content in some way or another. Like if it's a Division 2, I may not jump into it immediately, because again, things are a little tight. Because if I was capable, I would definitely have Dragon Ball FighterZ right now.
Yeah.
Totally. And I would be playing the holy balls out of that. Let me tell you what. Like, oh my God, it looks so good. Like legitimately, like that story mode's animation. Oh my God, it looks so good. But yeah, so there's that. But holy crap, that was tangent upon tangent upon tangent upon tangent.
I mean, we are
all upon.
I know, right? This is what we do.
Yeah, all upon the question of like worth and things and what I want to. Yeah, what would I pay for in Destiny? I don't really think anything anymore.
Yeah.
Because I mean, just realistic. The thing with the recent Eververse and even past, even getting lulled into like the first Festival of the Lost and the Dawning, and having to get it all, and it's like right now I don't think there's anything Destiny can really put out to make me buy silver right now. Mm-hmm. Just because of that, and the fact that I'm a little jaded when it comes to Destiny things. That and the coolest things I want usually are the guns that I want to collect. So I mean, I don't know. Because the Paladins does it rarely, very rarely. Like I said, I did mention like Madame Saris. I would probably try and spend money on to get. And before that, it was the Star Wars Dark Lord Torvald, because it just looks so good. But that's only 2 times actually. Mm-hmm. That Paladins has really, well, no, I'm sorry, Victor. The Doom Victor skin. Okay, 3 times that Paladins has really
He's gonna think of another one, folks. Don't worry. All right,
no, I
four
think
times. Four
no,
times.
no, I think Doom Victor was the first one to really. That was like, nope, sorry. It was the wrecked weapons, the nerf weapons in the game. That was the first one. So yeah, it was 4 times. Crap. But yeah, I did spend money on paladins to get the nerf weapons, as many of them as I could. And I love them.
Yeah, well, they are.
They're cool and amazing as balls. But yeah, so I was able to get those. Victor tempted me, but I was unemployed at the time, so I couldn't. Like I said, Torvald, I had a job. Actually, I don't even think I had to spend anything on it. I think I had enough leftover crystals to buy a chest. And it just happened. Torvald was just popped open, so I was like, oh, it's fate. But yeah, so Saris will actually be the first one to probably tempt me to spend money in Paladins again. Yeah. And that's in the span of when I got it last year, maybe? However long we've been playing this freaking game?
Yeah, last year.
So, I mean, yeah.
If I remember correctly, yeah, Buster, you should definitely try this game. It's called Paladins. It's really cool. The next thing I know, I was like in the band, like, come on, baby, where's that Paladins?
So yeah, for me right now, I can't think of anything that would make me spend money on bright engrams to get. I mean, if they had a pay system like old Eververse for emotes, I would probably be tempted to buy Selfie.
Have you not gotten it yet?
No, I haven't gotten it yet.
Oh, okay.
So I would be tempted to get Selfie for sure. I mean, I was lucky enough to get Mic Drop on like one of the first, new season engrams. So I'm happy with that.
Mic Drop is really fun when you're inside of a bubble. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah.
Or I also do Selfie inside of a bubble.
But yeah, so with the current system, no, I don't think there's definitely nothing in there to tempt me right now. But if it was the old system where you actually direct purchase, then yeah, I'd probably a little silver for Selfie, because Mic Drop and Selfie are probably my two favorites to be released so far.
I'm weird because I'm one of the guys. I don't think that Eververse is a problem.
Oh, I mean, it's not for most people.
It's
but
not.
I mean,
yeah.
There's things I don't agree with, but it's still not like a huge problem.
Well, I mean, yeah, like
it's like Warframe.
Yeah,
there's things in Warframe I don't agree with, but it's not really a huge problem.
If there's an event, there shouldn't be the event stuff behind, inside. But
yeah.
they're fixing that. That was their snafu, and they admit it. So props to Bungie for that. But yeah, I don't have a problem with Eververse. I mean, to say what I would spend money for in Destiny, considering if you think about how much money we've all spent on all the expansions and Destiny 2, and in Destiny as a game genre.
That's definitely another thing that prevents me from spending a little extra money, because I mean, Destiny is kind of a high down payment for enjoyment, whereas Paladins, I spent $20 a year ago.
Yeah.
I have like all the characters now, so it's like
forever.
I mean, every now and again, like you felt with Warframe, and considering it's a free game, the lower the initial investment, the more okay. Because I experienced this in mobile games too. Because I've actually spent. I got hooked in. Okay, that's where it started. That's where my Marxism really started, was with Final Fantasy Airborne Brigade.
Yeah.
And it was kind of PvP-ish. You didn't fight players directly, but you competed with another brigade of players to defeat monsters. Whoever did the most damage would get a certain amount of points. Whoever would get a certain amount of points. So the more you could attack, the more profitable for your brigade. And they sold items that could allow you to attack more.
Yep, like Clash of Clans.
Yeah, essentially. So I got hooked into that, and next spending $100 on a mobile game.
Mm-hmm.
That's when that stopped, because, again, I was rationalizing it. And it's like, oh, it's a free game. I can spend like $5 a week and get this stuff. I could put an extra 10 down right now and get this, and we'll pull ahead. Like I said, next thing I know, it was like income tax time, and I dropped $100, and it's like, oh no,
Yeah.
what have I just done?
Yeah.
Just instant regret, and yeah, that set me straight on that. But yeah, that's pretty much where it started, like the temptation, and I've dealt with it well for the most part. It's taken like some hefty things. Like I said, that's why I do tend to kind of look down on certain. Like I said, that's my issue. Like a lot of my issues with Warframes is that memory and having literally, like I said, people feel like they have a need to first things for cosmetics.
Yeah.
I was literally buying things to help my group to try and win. So I mean, I was literally sucked into that notion, and I was duped. I was pulled in. I wasn't forced true, but and then again, there were like brigades. There were like people. Like, there was a certain guild that you literally couldn't do that with because they bought so many items and they became famous for it. You could never win against this guild was in a brigade, or this group of people were like in a brigade against you. You weren't winning because they're like top 4 players in their thing. Just constantly bought items and bought items. They were just able to constantly attack almost 24/7. So it's not winning against those people.
It was just a war.
But yeah,
it was just a war of attrition.
Exactly. So, but yeah, I actually actually felt suckered into that and felt like obligated to at certain times to spend money, which is why, like I said, that's one reason why I feel it's kind of absurd that people are like, oh, Eververse makes me spend money. It's like, no. If you want to be made to feel like spending money, then have your money tied to a competition like that. Have your money tied to how many Crucible wins you have.
I'm about to say, could you imagine if you could buy a booster that makes light level enabled for a match in like Iron Banner?
Yeah, it's something like that, and then yes, you would feel the pressure of being made to buy things because then it's like advantageous for you. But for cosmetics, I've always just kind of brushed it off, and it's like, no, you're not made. Like I've been duped in and suckered in.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, yeah, it. Ever since then, I've been careful with microtransactions for the most part. And like I said, in Destiny's current system, no, I'm not tempted. There are a few things I would buy, actually, legitimately, because there's at least one ghost shell I would buy. I can't remember exactly which one it did, but I know there is one. I think it's the one that detects caches on all planets, the star map shell.
Oh,
I would probably buy that because that's a function. That and it would probably, hopefully, be cheap. If it was too much, I wouldn't. Like, that would depend on pricing. But yeah. If the emotes were like the old system, there's an emote I would buy. But that's all I would be tempted with.
Yeah.
I mean, and like I said, Paladins is a little easier for me to get duped in because I play it a lot and I technically didn't have to pay for anything. But I put down $20 to unlock everyone. Forever. So.
Yeah. When the game gets released, I get all the characters.
Exactly.
Forever.
I mean, it's just there. Like I said, that's 34 characters right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's people that pay $60 to get Overwatch's 24. I mean, they also get all characters forever for free. That's very true. I mean, well, because once you buy Overwatch, all characters are free in Overwatch, which that's something that they mentioned like from the start. It's like whenever you buy it, you're getting like they're DLC characters. They'll just add to the roster, which was another like kudos thing. But yeah. So I mean, again, when you're talking about like the worth, I mean, $60 for 24, 20 for 36. That's a whole different conversation right there. Oh, yeah. But yeah, so yeah, like if Destiny was like, which I don't see how it could be, any kind of cheaper, like for initial cost, because I mean, even at $60, the 500 hours that people complain that you can only get out of D2 vanilla, I $60. like 500 hours. I mean, good Lord, I played Final Fantasy X. I spent like 100 hours just playing Blitzball on that.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I played
So yeah, so if I can get basically if I play full price for a game and I can get around 300 hours of enjoyment, I'm cool.
Yeah.
And which so far Destiny, D2 Vanilla did give that at least. But I'm again, I mean, don't think it's a perfect system, but so far acceptable. Which Bungie is fixing things, but there is a point in time where it just isn't good enough anymore. But again, Bungie's fixing things, so I don't think they'll dip back down to acceptable. Like I said, the upcoming, if it is Gods of Mars, whatever they call it, but the upcoming DLC is probably going to be the last subpar event we get for Destiny 2, because that's how we got for Destiny 1. House of Wolves was actually really, really good for its content type. Still paled in comparison to Taken King and Rise of Iron. So, I mean, House of Wolves was the last subpar thing that came out for Destiny 1. And like I said, I can't see why the next is the same won't hold true for Destiny 2. I mean, yeah, it's sad that we're going through it again, but you win some, you lose some. But I think in the end, just like Destiny 1, the people that rough it out will be rewarded for having to rough it out. Eventually.
In time.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, will it all be fixed by Gods of Mars? Oh, that would be awesome, but at the same time, the roadmap pretty much doesn't allow that, because last bits on the roadmap is in fall. So, like, will it all be fixed by fall? Maybe.
Sure.
Depends. Ask me again in the fall.
I'll say sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have faith that it's capable of at least being very close, if it's not spot on. Like I said, who knows what new problems will arise. I mean, hopefully nothing that's an oversight anymore, because, yeah, that is, like I said, it does get annoying. It's like they have this great communication about the state of Destiny 2. And have people like calling in about it. And suddenly it's like, oh crap, we forgot to tell you we weren't putting new weapons in the faction rally. It's understandable, but still a little aggravating.
Shit, we forgot. My bad.
It's like, I understand because I forgot myself. So that's totally a me move. But come on. You're telling me there's like, through all the like twabs and crap and people's assistants, there's like 50 me's working at Bungie?
No one said, "Hey, sorry, don't forget to tell them we're not giving them new weapons." I know. I know it's stupid. We have to say it, but just say it, okay? Nah, they'll understand. No, they won't.
So yeah, that conversation probably happened, but Lord, it's like a memo that gets buried under the actual on top of someone's desk. It's like, oh, didn't you get the memo? Everyone's getting free lunch today. Wait, what? Or no, you have to pay $1 more. It's like, memo, you know?
Steve, did you give Cosmo the add-on to the TWAB? Yeah, I totally did. And then they leave and they look on their desk. Fuck.
Exactly. It's like, maybe I didn't. This is like one time, actually just a couple days ago at work, I went to load a truck. And I thought everything was fine. Everything was good. We locked the truck up, put it in line. That way the refrigerated guys can bring it around, load up the refrigerated goods and the next day, truck driver comes in. He's like, I didn't have any load lockers in my truck. I know I had two when I pulled it in. We look at our door, and there they were. They look at me, it's like, did you forget? It's like, I don't remember forgetting.
Did you forget?
I mean, that's it's like the evidence is there. Obviously, we forgot, but could have sworn we put them on, but So I mean, like I said, I can understand it, but there's a lot more layers in Bungie than one person or two people.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we'll see what the future holds. Again, going back to worth in video games, it's a rough question, man.
So, yes, this is 87, right? Episode 87? Yeah?
Sounds good. Yeah.
87, 88, whatever it is. I'll know when I...
80 something.
80 something.
Sure.
Dude, we're so close to 100.
We are. Which just gets us ever closer to 104.
Jesus Christ.
Wait, 104 or 108? Yeah, 104.
Yeah, 52.
52 weeks in a week.
Yeah, 52.
For some reason, I was trying to say there were 54 weeks in a year. But yeah, no, it's 52. But yeah, 2 freaking years almost.
Yeah, dude. Crazy, right?
Still sometimes doesn't. It's like a lot of, like a good relationship. It sometimes doesn't feel that long, and sometimes feels longer. The bad way, Exactly. Like, man, we've been doing this like forever. Oh, it's only been 2 years, and sometimes it's like, wow, you mean it's been 2 years? So it's like sometimes it doesn't feel that long ago from the great omnigal grind that cemented everything to sometimes it's hard to remember times I didn't wake up early on a Saturday to do this.
Yeah, that's true.
Or not really early. Actually, it was about normal time for me to wake up, but yeah. It's like, yeah, it's hard for me to remember Saturday not recording a podcast.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it also doesn't feel like we've been doing it this long. So it's a strange paradox.
It is.
Yeah, holy crap.
So, buddy, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you, Des?
As always, you can find your boy on Twitter at DES_Raven. You can get in touch with us for a Discord invite, because both me, Buster, I believe our mom are capable of making invites.
Yeah.
I think we gave them that permission.
Yeah.
Not 100% certain, but I think. It'd be an easy fix. But either way, you can get invites from either me or Buster into our Discord. One thing I haven't done in a very long time is you can add me on PlayStation at DES Raven. So same as Twitter, but no underscores. And if you like playing video games, I like playing video games. I play Destiny. I play Paladins. And right now I'm playing DC Universe Online. So yeah. And I have a lot of games. Dude, I got a crap ton of games I don't play. Or haven't played. Or just... That's the PlayStation Plus stuff that I collect, but holy crap. Anyway.
You can find me on Twitter at BusterKnuckle13. That's BusterKnuckle13. Hell, you can find me on PlayStation, BlisterLister113. I know it's the worst name. Please let me change it, Sony. If you send us a friend request, please put in the message.
Yeah. Do that. Let us know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Or else I may outright request. I'm going to warn you that now. Like I used to let them sit there, but if I can't recognize the name from anything, I'm deleting it. So
yeah, exactly. Just put RNG.
Let us know.
Just let us know. You can find this podcast on Twitter at the RNGcast. You can email us theRNGcast@gmail.com. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/the RNGcast. If you choose to...
Much like our patrons, Average Joe, Fred Bob Bazooka. Oh, crap. I didn't bring it up the list. Oh, crap. This was supposed to be seamless.
Known as
Alex.
My
God. Known as Alex. Berg. Converse. Also Mod. Willis. You wonderful people. We love you. Of course, we love you all equally.
With or without the
yes.
the monetary support.
Surprise. I was about to say, these are just people that choose to support us. Yeah. We do love you. We appreciate your attention, whoever you are. However, supporting is as easy as what you're doing already. Listening.
If you really want to support us, tell a friend about RNG.
Tell a friend. Word of mouth. Give us some iTunes reviews. I know we don't do a little podcast or Destiny podcast and we don't read iTunes reviews. I don't have iTunes, so I can't read iTunes reviews.
I could we could start if you leave.
Then I legitimately don't think we have that many. Probably. I don't think so.
Either. A lot of people don't leave reviews, so it's okay.
Yeah, so it's not like an average thing, Leave a review, it's basically like word of mouth because the more reviews we get, the more we get attention. But then we're freaking everywhere, which may work against us in being so accessible. But then again, we're accessible because whatever your friend listens to podcast on, you can find us there.
We're there. And if we're not there, I'll get us there.
Exactly. Like you bring it up to Buster's like, you're here. We'll work on a way.
Yeah.
We worked on Spotify at one point in time. Yeah. Buster said those hoops are some like fiery hoops to try and jump through.
Yeah,
so
they're echo hoops. They're hard to jump through.
So we've tried, but it might not be so successful. But I mean, Google, unlike a lot of podcasts, we're on Google Play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was a hoop.
Oh boy.
Of course, not that bad of a hoop. I think I got that started. But either way,
it was a hoop though.
Freaking Google Play, the iTunes was actually the bigger hoop. Freaking the thumbnail, the image preview size thing. Like, my God.
Yeah.
Why do you, Apple, why do you need such weird image sizes? Jesus, everyone else is okay with our image, except for you. I'm looking at you, Apple.
We're really doing inside baseball right now, Des. We should probably, And that being said, this is the RNG cast. One step closer, by the way, 104 might have a surprise for you. We're out.
Later, man.
See you all next week.